Hello, welcome. Oi, I'm sorry, I know I'm late again today, but it's not my fault, I swear to God. I was ready half an hour ago, but then OBS was trying to ruin me, and after that, I couldn't access YouTube. I don't know why, my internet didn't let me access YouTube. It did let me access my university site and other sites, but not YouTube for some reason, so technology always finds a way to screw me over. Hi, Epi. So, as I said, today is my Q&A live stream where I'll be answering questions. And it doesn't matter if viewers are here or not. I can get straight into the questions, which I have all noted down. So I'm gonna go user by user and question by question and answer everything people are curious about or not. I don't know. Let me just see real quick. The lighting is so shit now. Also, it looks as if it's sunny outside, but the blinds are down. I literally put the blinds down. But I guess if there's just a tiny crack, the light is gonna come in and I'm gonna get like almost natural looking sunlight from the back hitting me. Doesn't matter. But yeah. Got your video already. Okay. I'll get straight into the first question, and I'm gonna tick off the questions that I already have. Okay, so Mate77 asked, why did you decide to start streaming? What motivates you? And if you've watched yesterday's solo leveling live stream, then you know the answer already, but I'm gonna say it here again. The reason is a little complicated, but to boil it down to one thing, it's because of a type of attention deficit that I have. So I cannot focus on anything, be it in my free time or when I want to do something for university. I cannot focus on reading. I cannot focus on watching anything. I cannot do anything. I'm listless, so to say, and I have to switch what I'm doing almost every minute. Talking like this is fine, but even when I'm reading manga in my free time, which for the past 6 or 7 years has mainly just been shoujo and BL, because I can't focus on other series, because other series I want to start when they're completed or when they already have a lot of chapters so I can read them back to back. And I can't do that because of this attention deficit, so I switched to basically daily updates of BL and maybe shoujo. And even when I'm reading BL and shoujo, as I said, in my free time, I read like maybe one chapter. That's a maximum, okay? One chapter and then switch to something else. I need to do something else. And just one example, I'll switch, for example, to YouTube. Put on a video, but I can't focus on watching anything, you know? So what I do is I put on a video and play Sudoku, for example. I need to do something, or I do some chores, and then come back and then I read another chapter of BL or shoujo or whatever. So I need a distraction from my distraction that is also a distraction for a hobby that is a distraction for real life, you know. It's complicated. And because I haven't been able to watch anything without anyone near me to watch it with me, for example, family or friends, there's a lot of anime that I haven't watched yet, but the list just keeps getting longer and longer of the shows that I want to watch. And the same is with manga. The list just keeps growing, but I cannot take anything off because of this attention type of deficit that I have. Now, as I said, yesterday, I'm not diagnosed. I'm just describing a problem that I have to you, and giving you the reason why I started streaming. So, because I was shit posting in specific Facebook groups, whose focus is manga, specific manga. I also did some live streams there, and people told me I'm entertaining, and I made some friends there, and they also told me I'm entertaining. I should live stream in general on Twitch. And I was like, okay, but Twitch is, video games, and I don't play video games. Attention again. I can't. Even if I wanted to, I can't. But I don't want to, so I can't and I don't want to. So I was like, okay, wait. If I have people watch me read stuff, then there's someone present. And I always need someone present, like a social control type of thing, to hold me accountable for what I'm doing. So if I'm reading in front of people, and people read with me, and we discuss this shit, and maybe I can tick some manga off my list. And I was like, Elda, you genius! Do that! So basically, the reason why I'm streaming is selfishly to just tick manga off my list. I need these streams to solve a problem of mine, which is an attention deficit that I have, at least when it comes to hobbies. Now, when it comes to, academic and professional stuff, thank God I have deadlines there too, and tasks that I have to set myself. It's probably a little easier, but still, I don't know how I got through university so far. It's a miracle. And I'm looking to get this problem solved with professionals, so yeah. Anyway, so when people tell me, hey, you should play video games on stream, or you should do this or that on stream, like, that's not the point. That's not why I started streaming. That's not why I want to continue streaming. I'm really just doing that to get the manga and webcomics off my list. Literally just for that. So I can actually say, hey, I know this manga. I've read this manga. Yes, I can discuss it with you, and not be like, yeah, I do read manga, but it's like 10,000 BL manga. So if you want to talk about BL manga, I've read a lot of them. Nah, I want to talk about normal stuff and not just BL, So that's the reason. And there's a lot of viewers now. Let me just look at the chat. It's fine. At least you're here now. Oh, because I was late. Okay. Thanks for sharing the story. Very peculiar reason to start streaming. Yeah, I guess so. Hi. Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. I forgot to greet you. It's like we're forcing you to read. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's a good type of forcing me to read. I want to do that. This is why I started streaming, because I know people, for example, like solo leveling, and when they see this European chick is reading solo leveling, that's what the title says, we're expecting her to read solo leveling, and that's what I do. And if I have a streaming schedule, people are expecting me to stream at that time, and that I cannot just not do that when I set a task and there's people who will see if I did complete the task or not. So yeah, this is the reason. So accountability, basically. I need you all. I need my viewers so I can finish the manga that are on my list. This is the reason why I started streaming. Very selfish, but yeah. Which is why I'm not going to listen to what viewers tell me what to do on stream. This sounds so bad, but if I did everything that viewers asked me, for example, playing video games or whatever, first of all, playing video games is not a hobby. So I would need to make an investment, and it's like a 50-50 chance if I'm going to like that hobby or not. And just to do something to please viewers or to attract viewers, that's not the point. The point is just to solve this attention problem and read more manga. This is the only reason. This is what keeps me going. Okay. Then the next question, also by my mate 77. Any film you want to recommend? Oh boy, you asked the right person because I love basically all fiction media. Like if it's TV series, movies, anime, manga, books. Although I stopped reading books at age 16, which is when my problem started, my attention problem started. It's only been getting progressively worse. So I kind of stopped reading and basically went to picture books, which is manga. You know, you have pictures and then a little bit of text. That was easier, but now even that is hard for me to do. So I can't even read comics where there's a lot of pictures and a little bit of text. That's hard for me. But anyway, that question was already answered. Now to the movie recommendations. So, because I am a horror fan, I need to recommend some horror. And the first one I want to recommend is Suspiria, the one from 2018. God damn, it's good. I think I watched it 3 times already. It's good. I love it. Then, of course, the Alien series, but I want to just pick out 4 in the Alien series because not all of them are good. So, Alien, Aliens, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant. And I can't wait for the third one in the prequel trilogy to come out. Please get on with it. I want to watch it. And Veronica, Spanish horror movie. That one was good. And then to my favorite movies, Park Chan-wook is my favorite director, so we're gonna start with him. Old Boy. Watch Old Boy. It's the best movie ever. I love it. Favorite movie of all time. I think I watched it 20 times. Although the first time I watched it, I was like, oh god, I'm never gonna watch this again. I never want to see anything of this movie ever again. That was hard to watch. Like, you feel physically sick after watching it. But then I watched it again and again and again. Basically, I forced so many people to watch it. And every time they watch it, I'm like, I want to watch it with you. I want to see your reaction. So I watch it with them, and I've watched it 20 times already. Hi. Someone on Twitch too. Hi. Old Boy. And because Old Boy belongs to like a Vengeance trilogy, there's Lady Vengeance, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, and Old Boy. I wouldn't say Lady Vengeance is that good. I mean, it's okay. It's Park Chan-wook. It's okay, but Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, that has crawled up my list of favorite movies. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Watch it. It's so good. It's so damn good. And of course, The Handmaiden. The Handmaiden is a work of art. I love it so much. I love it so much. It's basically Korean and Japanese history and these two countries like personified, and lesbian love still. Like, it's so good. Watch it. Then Bong Joon-ho's mother. Bong Joon-ho is the one who is the director who won, I think, 4 Oscars for Parasite. Now, you can watch Parasite, good movie, but the movie that I love of his is Mother. It's so good, so good. It's basically about a murder that happened now, and to prove that her son wasn't the murderer, you basically have this psychological journey of 20 years in the past. Like, you travel 20 years into the past psychologically to solve this issue where her son got convicted of a murder that she is absolutely sure her son could never have done. and her son is mentally like he's like the village idiot because yeah, he's not really developed, you know. Do you watch anime? You're pretty. I'm Asian. Hi, Asian. I'm European, and yes, I do watch anime. And I'm pretty. Well, thank you. What made you think that? Okay, next one. Then classic movies that once you watch, they just don't let you go for some reason. Like you think of them from time to time, or wish you could experience them again, like for the first time. Uh, Dine, Dine. I don't know how you pronounce it. Hatred, basically. It's a French movie. It's a black and white, and it's so good. It's really good. Like several quotes from the movie just won't let me go. I still remember them from time to time. And The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Forrest Gump. Yeah, I've watched them all, but not my cup of tea. Then again, I've watched a lot of movies, and I've developed a specific taste. And taste is basically if it can grip you emotionally, but also perhaps physically, and that's a good movie. And if it doesn't let you go, if it just you keep thinking about it, and even like to come back to the movie Hatred, the French movie. Like yesterday when I described this detention problem on stream, I said something like, I haven't looked for a professional yet because so far so good. So far so manageable. It's been okay so far. Let's see how far we can go. It's been okay so far. I've pulled through somehow. And it's like in the movie, I think it starts and ends. I haven't watched it in a long time with a man falling through a skyscraper or off a skyscraper, and or through, I think, I don't know. And with each floor he drops, it's like, okay, so far so good, until he hits the floor, and then it's too late. But so far so good. So that's a quote that won't let me go. Good movie. What's your top? I'm answering the question. I'm answering the question already, and the stream quality is dropping. I think the internet speed is. Oh my god. The connection. Okay, now it's stable again. Thank fuck. I'm answering the question about the movie, so listen if you want to know. Little Women. Wow, an American movie made it into my list. Nah, Suspiria, I think, was American too. Yeah. Little Women. I like that. I like the era and the mood and the story and the characters. It was cute. It felt so homely. I love it. And for some reason, Call Me by Your Name. I watched that with my mom, and this is funny because we didn't know it was a queer movie, or at least I knew, but I knew. I heard it was a queer movie, but I didn't see the queerness when my mom saw it until it fully happened. Like, there's two male characters, and my mom was like, "Oh, they're gay for each other," and I'm like, "Where? Where do you see it?" Like, I don't see. Like, there's no connection. But then it happened, and I'm like, "Wow, mom, you were right." And I'm the one that's supposed to be like a Fujo. I was like, there's no chemistry. Like, where's the queerness in this movie? Like, is it perhaps between some female side characters that are going to develop into main characters, or what is this? What is happening? Or is it going to be like we have the main character? Like, where's the queerness? Is it going to be side characters or with the main character? But it's a good movie because of the setting. I think it's in Bergamo in Italy in the summer of 1980. I don't know what year. And it feels like you were there for a vacation. it's real. It felt like a real vacation because while I was watching the movie, it was good. It was melancholic, okay, but it was something I brushed off quickly. But then a few days later, I was like, I miss Bergamo. I want to go back. I want to go back into the movie. I want to go back to this vacation in Italy. I want to go back. I want to watch it again. So that's a good movie. And other movies that I love because of the story, such good stories, good storytelling, is Perfume, and Imitation Game. So good, so damn good. Just watch it. Perfume specifically is really my type of story. Like it's such a closed system. It's so well done. So many things in it's such a rich story. I love it. So many aspects to it. Love it so much. And for the visuals, the visual aspect, because the story can be nothing special. It's been told several times like this already, or it from fairy tales or urban legends or whatever. Nothing special. It's still an okay story, but nothing special. The visuals. Vampire Hunter D and On Drakon. On Drakon is, I think, a Russian movie of a fairy tale. It has the fairy tale type of feeling, and the visuals amazing. And the same with Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust. Talking about Bloodlust in specific, so good, so damn beautiful to watch. And even you watch this movie and you feel like you stepped right into it. Like there's still a story around it, but you step kind of into the middle of the story. And yeah, and that's true because it's one of the movies. It's a movie of one of the novels, and there's an entire series about the Vampire Hunter D. And you're stepping like right into one of the volumes. So even though you have that feeling, this is not a complete story. The start is missing and the ending is missing because it's just one part of a journey in the main character's life. Just one part. You're just taking part in one part of his life. So it doesn't feel complete, but it doesn't matter. It's just so good. It's so good to watch. I love it. And I think that's it for the movie question. On to the next question. Okay, I have my notes. I have everything written down. All the questions and notes on how to answer them. I'm prepared. The chat is quiet, probably because I'm such a good, entertaining storyteller. This is not a story, but hi, Wheeze. I think your question comes. Hold on. Yeah, okay, it's a little later on. Yeah, but I can answer it right now while you're here because it's just one short question. What's your favorite dinosaur? Now, I was a huge dinosaur fan when I was a child, and I forgot basically all of their names. But the Archaeopteryx, because it had feathers and it was flying already. So I don't know I don't remember if it was gliding or flying. But Archaeopteryx. Thanks, I'll be sure to check those films. Well, you're welcome. Watch it because I love infecting people with the stuff that I like. That's what I enjoy. Now to Anton Pankov's question. What other hobbies do you have besides anime and manga? Basically, now this is hard because all the hobbies that I have that I could list are just things that you can do alone. It's like DIY stuff. I like being creative, so I like creative pastime activities. That also for some time, like for 2 or 3 years, also included shit posting because yes, that was a creative process for me. Like thinking of how many layers of irony and references can I put into one post and make it like a copy pasta or memorable in some way, shape, or form. So shit posting, and it also helped me like when I did image editing, it helped me learn image editing and stuff. So that was also part of my creative hobbies, the shit posting part. I was having late lunch, enjoying the stream so far. Okay, I'm glad. Then, another thing that I love is discovering new Vocaloid music. Now, the main music that I listen to is just Vocaloid. It's Vocaloid, and I love discovering artists and their music. I love that. um, then also when I can focus, like it doesn't matter how long, but when I manage to, it's studying languages and cultures. I love that. I love that. Cultures, like foreign cultures and languages, love that. I love studying that. And I kind of remember that type of stuff more easily. So I can learn it more quickly. I like that. And also developing my own stories and OCs. I like doing that too. Then, as I mentioned, reading shoujo and BL. So ask me for recommendations in that department if you wanna. I'm an expert, I guess. Um, and fashion and art. I'm a huge art hoe and fashion hoe. But when it comes to activities with other people, like when it's with friends or with family that I enjoy being with, then it doesn't matter what we do. Hiking, love it. Playing badminton, love it. Going shopping, love it. Swimming, barbecuing, love it. Like it doesn't matter what. When it's with people that I like, I enjoy everything. We can do anything and everything, and I will enjoy the hell out of it. So that's my hobbies with other people. And of course, as I said, watching movies and TV series, love that too. Then, also by Anton Pankov, what character traits do you value most in people? Nice question. And it's always the same. Like for whatever type of relationship that I want to have, be it professional or more intimate, like friendships or whatever, uh, honesty, loyalty, because I am loyal as fuck. And I just want that type of loyalty to be reciprocated, okay? Open-mindedness and kindness, of course, and you know, as they say, if you realize that someone is mean to a waitress or whatever, they're not a good person, and I kind of agree. Like you have to be kindness shows itself in all daily activities and with all types of people in your gestures of body language and so on, and what you say and how you say it. So kindness, um, cheerfulness, because I'm not a fan of pessimism. I'm not a pessimist either, except for some, stuff on my part. But I don't take it seriously. Uh, and of course, a sense of humor. That's super important. If you don't have uh, the same sense of humor or a similar sense of humor, you can't click with each other. And that's important. So you need to have the same values and the same sense of humor. So that's what I like most in people. These adjectives, basically. Adjectives? Nouns. They were nouns. These personality traits that I look for in people that I want to get along with. Another question also by Anton Pankov. We're staying with Anton for 2 more questions. First is, have you been to other countries and which ones would you like to visit? Yes. So I've been everywhere where my family lives. And with family, I mean cousins, aunts, uncles, and so on. Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Croatia, and Bosnia. I've been to those countries. I've also been with a school trip to England and to France. And out of my own free will, I was an exchange student for 1 year in Japan, Tokyo. So where would I want to go? Basically, I want to go to all those countries I mentioned again, but see different parts of it, because I only go where my family is. For example, in Bosnia, I only go to the village where my family is from. Or Switzerland, only where my family lives. So I want to see other parts of the same countries that I listed right now, and also Italy and Greece. And I want to go to the countries where my friends that I met in Japan live, which is Latin America and Finland. I want to go there too. I want to visit them and see where they grew up. I want to go there. Yeah, and that was it for the question. Next one, wait. Most tangent devil stream is the least tangent one. Well, I mean, this is my insights, my thoughts and feelings that manifest as tangents on Let's Read streams, but are quite natural on this stream where it is about my thoughts and feelings and whatever. Okay, who is your favorite character in Chainsaw Man so far and why? So far, I like too many characters. I love Aki for specific reasons. He's like a typical hero. Like how you imagine a hero to be: selfless, self-sacrificing, strong, like mentally strong, and also able to fight and get up when others wouldn't get up. He doesn't give up. Power because she's amazing in how much comedic relief she delivers. And she's cute. I have to mention it, she's cute. But I think my favorite, it just has to be Denji. Because, well, if you watched my streams on Chainsaw Man, you know my thoughts and feelings about Denji. I just think he's such a refreshing main character, especially in Shonen. So good. Oh my god, my ear is getting itchy again. So I have inflamed ear canals, and sometimes my ears get itchy because of that. Don't think it's because like I have a fetish of, I don't know, picking my nose or ears or whatever. It's I have inflamed ear canals and sometimes they itch. But yeah. And I also love the interactions between Akipawa and Denji. Then again, I'm only 6 volumes in so far. But so far, Denji is probably my favorite. Because while he is depicted as super simple and simple-minded, there's a lot more complexity behind everything he says and thinks and does. He is actually a deep character. He is worried about his heart and his emotions. Like, he's afraid of becoming less human. He wants to stay human. And he does his best to do so by donating to charity, by not wanting to have other people die while he is here and present. Like, maybe he doesn't feel it in his heart that what he's doing is out of, emotional self-fulfillment. He wants to help people so he can feel better. No, he doesn't do it. He does it because he knows it's the right thing to do. And he wants to feel good doing those things. And that's, I think, yeah, as I said, he's portrayed as so simple, but at the same time, it's so complex and deep. I love it. Such a good main character. Yes, Denji is best boy. Then, next question by Ritz. Do you have any plans on doing anime reactions? No, I do not. Because, again, they're also an investment that it depends on the anime, but I do have some subscriptions to streaming services. But if an anime is not on there, I'd have to buy it or buy a new subscription. I don't want that. That is not the main reason, though, because I do watch anime in my free time. But why would I not want viewers to join me in watching anime? The reason is because I want to focus on the anime. Like, it's one thing to have still images and then have commentary while I'm looking at the still images and so on, and there's a still page on screen. And another thing is having moving images and talking people. I would have to pause every time to give commentary, and I don't do that typically when I watch anime. And if I don't pause and don't give commentary, it's basically me just streaming the anime straight to the viewer and then afterwards talking about it. It's I think that's pointless. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do anime streams. Of course, if I did that, and no matter what form, with pausing or without pausing, of course I'd still have the censorship overlay on top. But still, I think it would be boring. I even tried it once because I wanted to restart the Monogatari series, the Bakemonogatari series. And it was boring. It was boring for me and was probably boring for the viewers because when I stream, I want to talk. Like, the interaction is important to me when I stream, like the viewers in the chat and me talking to the chat and us doing this together. And you don't have that when you watch anime. Like, I can't watch the anime and have interactions with the viewers without missing a thing from the anime. Like, it doesn't work, in my opinion, and I wouldn't want to do it anyway. And other question also by Ritz. What was the first manga you read? No. Yeah, also copyright strike, Devil. I mean, I would also pitch it differently, and the censorship overlay would help out a lot in deterring people from watching it on my stream. But still, I don't think there is a point. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because it's not entertaining, in my opinion. It's not entertaining at all to watch anime on stream. And that's the reason. I wonder who bought Denji's singular testicle. Yeah, and for what? Like, what do you do with a 15-year-old boy's single testicle? Like, what do you do with it? Would have been funny if Katana Man bought it for fun. He's rich anyway. Yeah, but what would he do with that? Eat it or what? Cook it a little bit and then eat it? Or what for? What do you need testicles for? And then again, there are some weird Hollywood celebrities who have facial creams with Korean baby boys' foreskin in it. The fuck? What the fuck? So maybe his testicle was used in a beauty treatment. I have no idea. Like, what do you need a single testicle for? Anyway, on to the next question. What was the first manga you read? As I said, it's been such a long time. It's been over 10 years. Over 10 years since I started getting into manga and anime, thanks to a friend of mine. I think because I started with anime, and then I don't know which manga was the first. Probably Bokura ga Ita. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Either that or The Breaker, which is a manhwa. So either Bokura ga Ita, which is a shoujo, or The Breaker. But I'm not sure. Then Akka Ketsugami. my friend Gabe, he asked also interesting questions. Is there an anime, manga, movie you wish you could experience for the first time again? Of course, yes. Hi. The answer is, who would have expected it? Berserk. But this time without spoilers. I got into Berserk because of the eclipse. It was spoiled to me. Like, that was the main reason why I started Berserk. It's the major spoiler. But as I always say, spoilers to me don't matter, and scientifically it's been proven that spoilers actually make your reading or watching or whatever experience more enjoyable, because you don't focus on what is happening, but how you're getting there to the result that you got spoiled about. So you're taking in more material, more consciously, you're paying more attention, and you're enjoying the story more. And this experiment has been repeated several times, and each time it's proven people that get spoiled enjoy the story more. So maybe I'm such a Berserk fanatic because I got spoiled and then read the story and enjoyed it so much. But if I could experience a story for the first time again, this time I would pick Berserk without the spoilers and see how I enjoy it that way. And if the eclipse hits me harder when it happens without my having been spoiled. So, Berserk. Other question, would you like, also by Akake Tsugami, would you like to write and illustrate your own webcomic manga someday? First, I would have to start drawing. Now, I'm not bad at drawing, but I don't do it. I think I could become good at drawing, like actually good, and useful. If I did it, like if I trained myself to do it. Just one example, this is something like that I drew out of one of Harada's panels. Harada, one of my favorite BL authors, and I think that one was by memory. That one. Or this one was by looking at the reference and doing it. And another one was by memory, but they're indistinguishable. So I'm not exactly bad, as you can see. Maybe I have other... I can't show this. I did a gender swap slan from Berserk. I can't show. Basically. But yeah, I don't draw. I draw maybe once a year. Maybe once a year. And I do it when my cousin's children come over and we do this, basically. That's when I draw. So I don't really do that. But if I did, I think I could get better and better, which is normal. You know, progress when you learn something is normal. And then I could do it, but I would also have to get into cinematography, because manga and webcomics, you're like a director. It's not just enough to know, I don't know, human anatomy and backgrounds and so on, but the angles and how you position the characters, and from and the, what are they called? The poses, those are important, and the facial expressions and effects. I would have to learn that too, but I would be open about, having my stories let them see the light of day in non-traditional media. For example, there's you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have so many different types of, for example, the Monument Mythos on YouTube, or the Backrooms by Kane Pixels, That's non-traditional storytelling. You have clips here and there as different uploads, and then you puzzle the pieces together. That's non-traditional, and that's creative. I like that type of stuff. And one Berserk fan fiction that I posted online took place as like messages, phone messages, and you have the screenshots of these messages, and then those screenshots posted, and they tell the story. So you don't see anything happen. You just have the conversation, and then you infer what happened or what is gonna happen or what is happening. And I like that. I did that too. And so basically, storytelling in different and creative manners, yes, I would totally be interested in doing that. But when it comes to manga and webcomic, that would be something that's so far away from me, talent wise and qualifications wise. Okay, which it would be an ideal if I could do that someday. But I don't know. But non-traditional ways and like in traditional ways, like just writing text, like a novel, even though I can't read, I could probably write some. Like that, yes. But in manga or webcomic format, I never thought about that. Would be cool, but I don't have the necessary skill set to do so. Excuse me, I need to turn off the internet on my phone because I am afraid of the connection getting unstable here. Then another question also by Aka Ketsugami, coffee or tea? Tea. All the way, tea. I rarely drink coffee. I drink it maybe once a week, twice tops. Sometimes I go weeks without it, so tea. I drink a liter of tea every day, and I have an entire arsenal in my kitchen with different flavors. But as for my favorite, health benefits wise, green tea, flavor wise, jasmine tea. So tea. And this question also by Aka Kitsugami, my friend. What's your opinion on Devilman Crybaby? I'm just gonna give you the short answer. I do not feel like ranting again like I did with Jagaaan, unless the viewers are up for it. I could go off on Devilman Crybaby right now, but the short answer is I fucking hate it, okay? I hate Devilman Crybaby. A lot. So that's my opinion on Devilman Crybaby. Do not watch it. Do not enjoy it. If you enjoy it, you're a bad human being and you're cancelled. Okay? No, but I really hate Devilman Crybaby. It's such a butchering of a manga. I've never you know how people say, "Oh my god, Berserk's adaptations are so bad. Oh no, look at Berserk 2016. The CGI, ew." But have you watched Crybaby and read the manga? Like, it's insulting that this is called an adaptation of Devilman. It's basically if or you can you can compare Devilman Crybaby to Tokyo Ghoul the anime. Basically, what was converted from the manga to the anime was just the titles and the names of the characters, and everything else was just someone taking a shit and then smearing it on the big screen. And that's an adaptation of the source material. That's Devilman Crybaby and Tokyo Ghoul. And Tokyo Ghoul Re, probably. I don't know, I haven't watched that. But yes, I just fucking hate it. And the worst thing is, because nothing from the manga and what would have made viewing experience now in the 2020s, or it came out 2018, if I remember correctly. Crybaby came out 2018. What would be so interesting is to have an insight into a different period, because Devilman, the manga, the original, was published in the 1970s, and it influenced so many manga that came afterwards. But the thing is, the 1970s manga, Devilman, is situated in a specific time period with specific social and political issues that are coming through in the manga. So you have this era in time in a specific country and culture that are unique to, like, the mood, the climate and everything is unique to that period and that country alone. And it would have been so interesting to have an international viewer base from all different types of cultures dive into exactly that era and that culture of that time in that place. So to have this 1970s mood and climate and issues reflected in a 2018 anime, so you know what was on people's minds at that time and how people acted and what they perceived in their day-to-day lives and how they interacted with other people. To have that experience in 2018 would have been such a refreshing thing, in my opinion. But that didn't happen. Sadly, nothing of Devilman was left, except the gore. Except the gore. That was brought over to Devilman Crybaby, yeah. And because the director, for some reason, thought, let's leave out all the social and political issues of that time and the fashion and whatever. Let's leave all of that out, which basically means you remove the entire skeleton of Devilman. The entire structure, you remove it. Let's leave out that. Oh, but wait, now we have nothing left. How are we gonna make this mature? We're gonna add nudity. Easy. Now it's a mature anime. Yeah, anime of the year 2018 won. No, I'm gonna go insane. Just because you have nudity and gore doesn't make it mature. It was so nonsensical, basically. Even if you leave out the entire, as I said, climate and background of Devilman, the original, even if you leave out that and just want to adapt the story, even there it failed completely, and it failed in how to deliver the story. Because you can't just have a scene happen, then another scene happen, another scene happen, and you don't have any transition that makes sense. Like, you jump from one scene to another, then it's so dynamic you can't keep up. And okay, having a dynamic development is okay, but it needs to make sense. It needs to be paced. Okay, like it needs to make sense in the pacing too. You need to be able to follow the plot, and you need to be able to follow the character, like how they think and why they're doing the things that they're doing, and the actions and reactions, they need to make sense to you. Nothing of that makes sense in Devilman Crybaby. Nothing. It's just scene after scene. Now, how it makes sense, that's up to the viewer. It's such bullshit. I fucking hate it. It's such a butchering. Like, of course, the 1970s manga, it reads like a shitpost in print, to be honest, from today's perspective. Like how dialogues and expressions are handled. It reads like a shitpost, to be honest. But that's how manga in that period were made. If you look at Dororo from that period, it's wacky as fuck too. But then you look at the adaptation, the anime adaptation, and it was translated well into today's period in how we do storytelling now in anime. Good translation. You know, you still have the same period in the manga and in the anime. It's, I think, feudal Japan, but I don't know if it's like the 9th century or the 15th century. I don't remember anything anymore. But basically, it's the same time period in the manga and in the anime, but how the story is handled and character interactions, that was tweaked in a way that would make it, the story conveyed more effectively to the viewer today. So that's a good example of an adaptation from a 1970s comic. And if you want to adapt a comic from the 70s or 80s into the modern period and have the time set, like the setting change, like that it's not the 70s or the 80s of that time, but it's the 2018 period or 2020s. How do you translate that? Look at Parasite, The Maxim, Kiseiju. Look at that. Because I think that was made in the manga, I think it was in the 70s or 80s. And basically, the characters were transformed into modern characters. They have smartphones in the anime adaptation. They have smartphones, they have headphones, and so on. But the story was still there. Like, the story and the main points, like the characters, they're still there. So that's a good translation into the modern period. Parasite is a good example of that. And Devilman Crybaby fails on all fronts. It fails on translating the storytelling techniques that would be effective for the viewer today, and it fails in changing the time period and making the characters modern. I hate absolutely everything about Devilman Crybaby. Even the character designs. They're so stupid. Like, I love unconventional art in manga and anime. I love that. That's what I look for. Which is why, with the art style specifically, I have no problems. If it's just isolated, the art style of Devilman Crybaby. That isolated, that is okay. But everything else, like all the designs, everything else is just so bad. I hate it so much, because what made Devilman stand out, it was the topics that it dealt with. It was school violence at the time. Youth delinquency, for example, was a huge issue. And also, the government and the populace, there were huge protests at the time that were very violently broken down. You have that. So the violence is reflective of the time period and what was happening in real time in Japan. Then you have global warming, you have the Cold War, you have impeding war, you have the economy drastically climbing in Japan. And then you have outcasts like homelessness, and because of this economic change and what happened, like the catastrophic events in the 1940s, you have homelessness, you have people that are lost in life, you have poverty, drug abuse, heavy drug abuse. That was a huge issue too, because Japan got internationalized and it had trade with many countries. Cocaine came over, heroin came over, meth came over, and all of that. You have all that type of stuff you have in Devilman. And also, of course, nuclear warfare. And as I said, global warming and the environmental damage in general. So all of that is packaged into the original Devilman manga. You have nothing of that. Nothing of that in Crybaby. Nothing. And it's sad. Ascario, Satan, in Devilman is fucking insane. But like, he is, I can see how Griffith was inspired by him. Like, oh my god, I can see it. That boy has issues. But what I want to say is, violence and sex were never the main part of Devilman. Whereas this is the main focus in Devilman Crybaby. Like the entire soul and skeleton, as I said, the soul and skeleton are missing in Crybaby. Like there's nothing left. Nothing except, as I said, the title. Devilman. There's Devilman in Devilman Crybaby. Like the title moved over to the anime. And the names of the characters, well, they moved over too. And some aspects of the plot moved over too. And that is it. Otherwise, and the worst thing is, when people at the time, when Devilman Crybaby got out, I'm sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat for such a long time. This is a monologue at this point, but I need to get rid of it. At the time when Devilman Crybaby came out, of course, not everyone enjoyed it. It was met with criticism. But because the director was such an acclaimed person in the industry, all the criticism was bullshit. Like, how dare you criticize him? He's an artist. You just didn't understand it. Which is why I think the director is the main problem, because when people, for example, took to Twitter or in interviews or whatever, their criticism of Devilman Crybaby, all he ever retorted, this director, was, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, you'd have major criticism, like paragraphs, and he'd just answer like, I don't understand. And I think that's fucking disrespectful. Like, okay, if you're treating the material, like the manga, with disrespect, that's one thing. That's one shitty thing you're doing. But the people who have criticism for what you're doing, you just dismiss them with, I don't understand. I'm a king in this industry. I don't understand what you peasants are saying. Like, that attitude, dude. Why? So this is, the director is another reason why I really don't like Devilman Crybaby. Okay, this really turned out into a rant, although I said I do not want to rant, but fuck! Aka Ketsugami, he knew this would happen, which is why he posted this question. He knows how I go off on things that I hate. I'm so passionate about the things that I hate. Hold on. Up for it, let's go. Elda's hate is so bad the internet is shaking. Oh no, was it unstable? This reaction is so intense. Did you read or watch Monster? Yes, I did. What the fuck? That's like making Berserk without Griffith. Yeah, basically. God, it seems Netflix is maintaining a streak of shitty adaptations. Looks at Crybaby sitting on my to-watch list. Don't. Just read the manga. Read the manga, I guess. Ignore that it's basically, from today's perspective, it reads like a shitpost. Imagine how a manga about everything that... Why is the lighting so bad? Hold on. Nothing changed. But, yeah, hi Mar. Imagine how this story would have been handled with today's tools of storytelling. So, just this imagination that you have while you're reading the manga is enough to enjoy the manga. And enjoy it far more than the adaptation, Crybaby, in my opinion. The only good thing about Devilman Crybaby is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is phenomenal, because that is, ironically, the only thing that is reflective of the time period, that's the 1970s and 80s. Like, that's the only thing that fits the 1980s and 70s mood. The music. So I think, I forgot what his name was, the man who was responsible for the soundtrack. Fuck. I forgot. He also did the soundtrack for, I think, Japan Sinks. I forgot. But he was the only one that basically adapted Devilman with the music. Like, he's the only one that did a good adaptation of Devilman. With the soundtrack. Like, the soundtrack is the only thing that's authentic and paying respect to Devilman and the time period that it was published. Looks at Crybabies. Oh, wait, what puts Devilman manga on my to-read list? Yeah. do it. All right, that question is answered. Sorry, that went on for a long time. And the connection is wonky. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Ushio Kensuke. Yeah. I forgot. Yes, he's good. He is the only good aspect of Devilman Crybaby. So I would suggest get the soundtrack for Devilman Crybaby and read the manga Devilman, okay? So that's how I suggest you consume Devilman. The soundtrack from the anime and the manga, and I wish, like, there's one adaptation, I don't know if it was an OVA, but I think it was in the 1990s, a Devilman adaptation that looks so good. It's really good. The animation is so good, the style is so good, and the gore is so good. Now, I haven't seen it, but I've seen AMVs with that. I think it was the OVA, with that OVA, and it's so good. Now, imagine if you had the soundtrack from the 2018 anime, the animation and style of the 1990s OVA, and the content of the 1970s manga. That's how you consume and enjoy Devilman, basically. That's my tip. Is making Chainsaw Man's... I heard that he's responsible for the soundtrack in Chainsaw Man, which is... I'm hyped! I want to see what he's gonna do for Chainsaw Man. I want to see. I'm really curious because he is versatile. He's really versatile. And he's good in each style that he chooses for each respective anime. He's so good. Such a talent in the industry. Really. He is, I love him. Okay, next question. Gold77 asked, top 5 main characters. Now, do you mean protagonists? I wasn't sure. But I'm gonna answer this question thinking of protagonists. Top 5 favorite protagonists. Now, I'm typically more of an antagonist type, but I do have some favorite protagonists. Okay, I would put in place number 5, I think Tokuchi Toa from One Outs. Because, damn, he's smart but ruthless, but he does not care about anything. Like, usually when you have a protagonist or an antagonist, they have a goal, which means they have a weakness, because if you get in the way of their goal, there's a setback and they need to overcome it, and so on and so forth. But basically, when you have something that's important to you, that means you have a weakness. And Tokuchi Toa doesn't have that. He's basically just there to win. I love him. He's so cold, and from the anime, I forgot which studio it was that was responsible for the anime. Fuck. They made Hunter x Hunter 2011. Fuck! What's the studio called again? I forgot. But anyway, his track, his theme is so reflective of his personality. It's creepy and eerie, and for a main character who's just really cold and just there to win and crush you, that's so cool. I like him. And he's super smart. Like, everyone's like, oh, Light Yagami is so smart. Who would win? Light Yagami? Or Griffith? Or Johan Liebert? Or Lelouch Lamperouge? Tokuchi Toa. He would body all of them. Tokuchi Toa. And he's in a baseball betting anime, okay? Or manga. Tokuchi Toa is all about baseball and betting. But Madhouse, Madhouse. Yes, thank you, Madhouse. Okay, number 4 favorite protagonist, Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, because he changes so much throughout the series, but he's understandable and relatable. And also, you feel bad for him. He's a good main character because his role in the anime also switches a lot. People are calling him an antagonist, which I would not go so far as to call him an antagonist. But the thing is, for the characters in this story and for the viewer, his role changes a lot within Attack on Titan. And I think that is cool. That is cool. I like that. Hey Alda, cool that you're doing this little rewatch when I'm off work. Love ya. Yay. Hi. Hi Luke. I'm happy you're here. Then spot number 3, take Sakata Gintoki from Gintama. I love Gintama. I haven't finished watching it yet, but I did watch 134 episodes, I think. And I love him. Favorite husbando. He's great. I love him. He's great. I love him. He's great. I love him. Spot number 2. Now, I don't know if she's a protagonist in a story that doesn't really have one main character, but I think he is carrying the story. He is one of the most important aspects of the story. Shima Tetsuo from Akira. I love his character and the role he plays within the story. I love it so much. He goes from an unimportant side character. And I'm not talking about the anime, by the way. I'm talking about the manga. The anime is... I mean, yeah, the animation is cool. That's it. The story is a little confusing or feels incomplete because it is incomplete. But the soundtrack is good in Akira. The soundtrack, the animation, I like that. And the style, I like that too. But the manga, it's one of my all-time favorites. It's so good. I couldn't stop reading it when I started reading it. You just swallow it up entirely. It's one of the best, if not the best manga that I've ever read, quality-wise, because the art, fantastic, the pacing, fantastic, setting, plot, characters, everything is fantastic. I've never seen something so close to perfection in manga format. Like, everything is just so concisely and fitting and well done. Akira, the manga, read it. Read it. I tell everyone, read Akira. It's so underrated for some reason. Like, people watch the movie and hype it up, and I'm like, why? But the manga is so damn good. Anyway, Shima Tetsuo, he goes from like a punching bag or just something that happens with him on the side or someone who just gets tangled into some events. He goes from that to essential point in the story. Like, without him, the story would not exist. And every other character, like, you think from the movie that Kaneda is the main character. In the manga, he's not. Neither is Tetsuo really a main character. You go from character groups and what they're dealing with to other character groups, and there's several. You don't have just one main character and one antagonist or whatever. You have several groups of characters that are dealing with their issue that they need to solve or goals that they need to pursue. And out of all these character groups, and within all these character groups, I think Tetsuo is my absolute favorite of all time main characters. I wouldn't say he's a main character, but a driving character. I think like Light Yagami is boring, same. I think he's boring as fuck. Also, why didn't he do anything with Misa Misa? Like, The manga is more detailed too if you're interested to know more about the world. Yeah, not just that, but the art, and I've said that in my Chainsaw Man streams, the background art with the lines and the shading and all of that and the details, it reminds me of Devilman, I mean Chainsaw Man. It reminds me so much of Akira's. Akira's details, so good. Oh my god, the art is so good in Akira. I really can't recommend it enough. That was spot number 2. And spot number 1, guess it. You're right. It's Guts from Berserk. Because, you know why. You know. Because no matter what happens to him, he just keeps going. He doesn't give up. He's really inspirational. He's relatable, and he's inspirational. And no matter what happens to you, Guts went through something worse probably, and he's still going. And I think that's really inspiring. But also his feeling of being lost in life or not having a purpose or goal or meaning or whatever. And comparing himself to others and wanting to be adequate for other people, that's relatable. Like, I know the story takes place in fantasy, medieval Europe, but the characters and what they go through and how they think and what they do, they're so relatable. I think they're timeless. These are timeless human emotions and experiences, which is what I value so much about Berserk. During the Golden Age arc, I don't know about the rest though. I don't know about the rest. The rest is bullshit. Mostly bullshit. 99% of it is bullshit, so yeah. My boy Denji didn't make the cut. Well, I'm not finished yet with Chainsaw Man. What if he turns to shit in the rest of the volumes? But he is. If he continues to be such a compelling main character, I'm gonna throw out Tokuchitoa and put Denji on the list. Really. If he continue, like, I want to finish the series and then I want to have my review of Denji and see what I feel about him. But yes, he and I was really struggling whether to put Tokuchitoa or Denji on the list. But I'm putting Tokuchitoa because he came before Denji, okay? And I'm not done with Denji yet. Once Chainsaw Man finishes, he's definitely getting a special place. Yeah, maybe he's gonna even throw out Eren Yeager. As I said, I'm more of a antagonist person, so when asked about the top 5 main characters, I think antagonists can count as main characters, so I'm just gonna tell you my top 5 antagonists to Meruem from Hunter x Hunter. And these are not in any specific order. Maybe I should put in it. No, I can't. I can't. These are all fighting for the first place. Like, I don't know. There's no specific order in how I mention them. Meruem from Hunter x Hunter, Griffith from Berserk, Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Yu Jin from Old Boy, because I'm not talking only about manga and so on. Yu Jin from Old Boy, the movie that I mentioned. He is such a good antagonist. And Ascario from Devilman. Like, he's fucking insane, dude. Cause he's my number 1 boy. Oh, okay. Sephiroth, I don't know him. Okay. Nikola Kova, I forgot to write down the question. Fuck, I just have notes for the answer, but I forgot to write down the question. Nikola Kova asked me, why are you a communist? Okay, I didn't know I was a communist. Like, I don't know where this came from. I never announced myself as a communist anywhere. If anything, I made more anti-communist memes in the past, so I don't know. But maybe this person saw some of my criticism on streams or somewhere else. Like, I do criticize capitalism a lot, but it's not my fault. Like, I can see how people may think I'm a communist, although I'm gonna be honest, I haven't read communist literature yet, so I can't say I'm a communist. But my values that I reflected in my criticisms on stream, or when I do some social commentary on stream or in comments on different platforms, I don't know. These values do align with communist or socialist. Let's say socialist, because that's like an umbrella term. Communism is a part of socialism. They do align with socialist talking points. But it's not my fault that basically all the criticism I have against governments and everything that goes wrong in the world, be it environmental damage or exploitation of foreign or normal, like in your country, local labor, inequality with wages, what else? Imperialism, lobbying, corruption, and so on, all the things that I have a problem with when I'm criticizing governments and, political and social failings around us, they basically all boil down to capitalism as a system. And if it can all be boiled down to capitalism, then maybe that's a sign that it's time for a new system. Now, I don't know what that new system should look like. I haven't, as I said, I'm not into any literature about that yet. But if it's socialism, then so be it. As long as there's less inequality and injustices in the world, I'm happy. And from what I have seen about socialism and so on, like studies of countries and basically what are they called, synopses and papers basically published on socialist literature, or YouTube videos that are summarizing the main points of socialist literature. It looks like that is the only option, to be honest. So maybe that's why people think I don't know. But as I said, I'm not into the literature yet. I plan to get into more political literature. But as I said, the criticism that I have against current politics basically boil down to capitalism. And if I'm an anti-capitalist, that could probably mean that I'm a pro-socialist. So maybe that's why this question was posed. I know what is the best system, but then we'll go to religion. No, I think, yeah, we're past that already. Past theocracies and so on. We don't need that anymore. Okay, next question by Epi, my manager and friend and angel. When is Some European Chick and SomeEuropeanMom collab happening? Honestly, I've never thought about that. It's a good idea, though. Maybe I should make it happen. Like, I don't know, have my mom react to your favorite waifus or husbandos, and she either bashes or otherwise rates them or whatever. I don't know what such a collab would entail, but my mom is fun and she likes pop culture. Like, she's into, if they're good, anime and TV series and movies too. Like, basically what I am, my mom is too. She's like a copy. But not personality wise, she's different from me. God, I have the dumbest questions. Why did I even ask these? I have no idea. Next question by Epi. What are some of your favorite AniManga series? Oof. I'm gonna list them all. Alright. Anime. We're gonna start with anime, favorite anime series. Hunter x Hunter. I have them listed down here. Like, I went through documents the day before yesterday so I can have a list because I forget. I don't keep lists usually, but some I do note down when they stick with me. Hunter x Hunter, Code Geass, Kiseiju, Parasite, Haikyuu, One Outs, Attack on Titan, Shiki, but come on, it's so cute. Neon Genesis Evangelion, and the end of Evangelion, the movie. Gintama, although I haven't finished it, I love it so much. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because what the fuck? That's a fever dream. I love it. Monster, Mob Psycho 100, 91 Days, because I am a sucker for mafia stories. And Black Lagoon. That was great. Like the anime seasons that we have so far, they were great. Like it doesn't feel like a Japanese person made that series. You're so aware of international and general issues, and they're treated in a respectful and international manner. For example, child abuse and trafficking. How that is treated in Black Lagoon is different from typical Japanese anime, where anyway, all content is handled super well in Black Lagoon. It feels really like it's made in Hollywood or whatever, which is interesting when it comes from Japan. Really good. As for manga, Berserk, Akira, Fire Punch. Read Fire Punch, also by Fujimoto. Ni-chan by Harada, which technically falls under BL, and BL being like yaoi, shonen ai. But honestly, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. And if you have a weak stomach, don't read Ni-chan. But if you wanna have real social commentary on pedophilia in Japan, then read Ni-chan. And the topic is also handled quite respectfully. Like, there's no explicit scenes that you read and see happen to children. Like, it's implied. And basically, it's as if the camera pans away, so you don't see it. You just hear it, and even when you just hear, I mean, it's speech bubbles. When the implication is there, you just have a shiver run down your spine. It's so good. And one criticism that I saw of Ni-chan is, I think, yeah, it was by Fujo's, this type of criticism by Fujo's, like, oh, I came here for the Shota content, but this is not cute. It feels too realistic. I think that says quite a lot about you, okay? That is not a criticism against Harada and her work, Ni-chan. I think that's a point where you reflect on yourself, okay? I was honestly baffled when I saw this type of criticism against Ni-chan. Like, that's not fab material. Why did you come here expecting fab material involving children and expecting it to be cute or romantic or desirable? The fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, Ni-chan. Then a polar bear in love. It's so cute. It's so cute. Seto Utsumi. Seto Utsumi, I would say, is slice of life. It's so good. It's so funny, and you can't stop reading it. There is no story, like, there is no red string like that goes from beginning to end and is like an outline of the story. It's basically short moments of these characters, Seto and Utsumi, of their lives and their interactions. You just watch them spend their afternoon, and that's it. And but it's so good. There is a development that gets implied from the beginning, and it all culminates in the end. And you don't see it happen. But these breadcrumbs are there, and when you have enough of them, you have an entire loaf of bread. So when it happens, you're like, oh fuck. The signs were there all the time, but I was too focused on just their shenanigans. So I think that is well done. Seto Utsumi. Uramichi Oni-san! I know there's an anime out there, but I want to recommend the manga. It's so good, so funny. I love it. It's basically also slice of life and the pain of being an adult and entertaining children. It's so damn funny. Read it. And then a shoujo which turned into a shonen. I didn't know that would happen, but I started it for the shoujo aspect. Kieta Hatsukoi. Basically, it's about a boy that has a crush on the girl sitting next to him in school, and he borrows her eraser. And there's a thing that these teenagers in these schools do, is that they write the name of their crush on their erasers and hope that, I don't know, the crush will come to fruition in a relationship. So he has a crush on this girl. He borrows her eraser, and it says Ida. And Ida is the guy sitting in front of him. He accidentally drops the eraser, and Ida picks it up and gives it to him. And then he turns around again and sees that this boy has an eraser that says Ida on it, and he thinks, oh shit, the boy sitting behind me has a crush on me. And this entire misunderstanding, like, you think, oh shit, he has a crush on the girl has a crush on the boy, and the boy thinks this boy, the main character, has a crush on him. It's such a funny misunderstanding, and the story and the characters and the art style is so good. Like, it's so good. I really recommend Kieta Hatsukoi. I love it so much. And Boys Run the Riot, which is about basically boys wanting to have their own fashion brand. They're like high schoolers. But the main point is one of the boys is actually a trans boy. And I'm recommending this because for people who perhaps don't understand transness or what it is to be trans, this gives you a good idea. Like, this is it. This is it. From then on, I think it's impossible to look at a trans person and not see them as the gender that they identify with after reading that. I think that's my opinion. Like, if by that point, you're still like thinking of trans people like, oh, that's confusing. Like, why did they go from man to woman or from woman to man? Like, what do I do? I still see them as a man that is kind of putting on a woman costume or whatever. I think after reading Boys Run the Riot, it would be impossible for you to think like that again. Like, I'd say. I don't know. I would hope so, okay? That's my hopes and wishes for everyone. Because, yeah, it's one... This is something that I see often, especially if you know Matt Walsh. That was my alarm. He basically, when he wrote Johnny the Walrus or whatever, you can see that he thinks that trans people are the people that they were, like, the sex that they were born with, but then putting on this costume and others telling them, hey, you are now that costume, and we will force you to transition, even though for you It should actually just be fun to cross-dress a little bit. We as a society shouldn't take this cross-dressing seriously. We shouldn't really start addressing them as the gender that they identify with. But now you see all these people taking trans people seriously and forcing them to transition, even though that is mutilation, and we're destroying perfectly healthy human beings. That type of view is toxic, okay? And I think when you read Boys Run the Riot, you can switch, okay? You can still have this costume metaphor, but the other way around. What if you actually, what if I suddenly came on stream and I had a dinosaur costume? But I still did the same thing. Like, I read comics on stream and I talk to you and I take a sip of water, have a pee break, okay? But I'm wearing a dinosaur costume. Like, would you think, oh shit, someone revived dinosaurs? This is a fucking dinosaur in front of us. We should treat it like a dinosaur. That's a fucking dinosaur. We should give it meat. No, that's really a person, and it doesn't matter how much I tell you and do the things that I'm doing as a human being, and you hear me speak, which only human beings can do. Like, I'm using human speech and doing human tasks, and even telling you, word for word, I'm a human in a dinosaur costume. But I'm a human. Please treat me like a human. And people are like, that's fucking confusing. To me, you're a dinosaur. Like, why? I don't know. I need to treat you like I need to treat you like a dinosaur now. Like, do I roar with you? What? I'm so fucking confused. And then maybe you can see that me taking off the costume and finally coming out and being like, okay, fuck, do you see now that I'm fucking human? Okay, I'm actually human, look. But then people be like, shit, I'm so used to the dinosaur costume, what the fuck do I do now? Like, you even smell a little bit when I get close to you, you smell like the costume. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah, you present as a human now, but man, I still have the dinosaur in mind. Basically, maybe you can switch it and seeing it like that. That the costume is the body that you're born with, and the gender, like your actual identity, is that you have always been. That actually shines through when you actually think a little bit about it. There's no way there's a dinosaur in front of you. That's a costume. And when I tell you that's a costume, even though the costume is very high quality and it looks really realistic, when I tell you, hey, look, I'm doing human speech and actions and so on, and I'm even telling you, now I had to take off the costume to convince you. Maybe now you can see me as what I really am. I think maybe reading Boys Run the Riot will make you think, if you have to think of transness in terms of costumes, maybe Boys Run the Riot will help you think in that way. Not in the Matt Walsh way, with the walrus, Johnny the Walrus way, but with that way. As not you putting on a costume and cross-dressing, but as you taking off a costume that you were forced into. Okay? Like, maybe do that type of switch. So that's why I think Boys Run the Riot is a good manga that I can't recommend enough. I think it's a shame that it stopped so abruptly. Like, there was so much more space for development. I could have read another 10 volumes about it. Why did it stop so abruptly? And at that point, like, nothing was resolved. No goal was achieved. Why did it stop here? It was so interesting. I was sucking it all up. Then it just fucking stops midway through, and I'm like, okay, that's a shame. But still, I think it has more benefits to give you as a reader than drawbacks, which is why I recommend Boys Run the Riot. And although I haven't finished it yet, Slam Dunk, I love Slam Dunk. And Golden Kamuy, I haven't finished that one yet either, but what I did read of Slam Dunk and Golden Kamuy, I enjoyed immensely. I loved it. So those are my favorites. Damn, this live stream is really long, and I am talking a lot. I know. All right, and the next question also still by Epi. Will you ever watch the recent trending animes like Dress Up Darling? Probably not. Probably not. Unless they stand the test of time and remain classics and retain their top spots in anime watch lists or whatever, then maybe someday. But I'm not an anime of the season type of person. Like if you can still talk about them, and if they can still stay relevant in like 5 years or 5 to 10 years, then yeah, I'm gonna put it on my list and watch it. But as I said, I'm not a seasonal anime type of person. Those were some really good recommendations. Thanks, Elda. Oops. You're welcome. Thanks for the questions, and we still have more. Shit! So many questions still. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.5 pages of questions. This is gonna be a long ass stream. Joe Vide, I don't know, asked, what is your top 5 manga or manhwa? Since I answered the manga question, I'm gonna go to the manhwa question. Okay, top 5 manhwa. With manhwa, I am now assuming it's Korean webtoons. Okay, because manhwa is actually, I think, just supposed to be manga that are printed, but in Korea, by Koreans, for Koreans, in Korean. But I think webtoon and comics, I'm just gonna count manhwa now as webtoons. Cherry Boy That Girl. It's a shoujo, but it's so good. One of my friends, he's not a shoujo person, really not a shoujo person. I don't think he has ever read a shoujo. He read that upon my recommendation and he loved it. So I would say it's a good thing that everyone can read. Talk to Me, which is a little smutty. It's about couples experimenting and talking to each other about their likes and dislikes in bed and so on. But it's really good. I like it. I like the developments. I like the interactions and so on. Bastard, as of recently, yeah, it's on the list. It's really good. I enjoyed Bastard. Jasper 2, which is a BL that made me cry like a baby. And I'm a sucker for stories that can make me cry like a baby. So Jasper 2, it's really good. It's so damn good. You're missing out if you don't read it just because it's BL. It's really good. And for the 5th one, both candidates I haven't finished yet, and both candidates involve 3 people, like in a love triangle type of relationship. And both are like dramatic, but so good, like complex, and you want to keep reading, and it's so good. Like the storytelling is so good. So as I said, both I haven't finished yet. Both are basically in the same category, but opposites. One is GL, girls love, and one is BL, boys love. So the BL one is called Love or Hate, and the GL one is called What Does the Fox Say? So I think they are fighting for the 5th spot, but I need to finish them or restart them and then continue reading them. Hello Gabriel XXX. So those are my top 5 manhwa. Next question by Hollow Andy. What was your past like? Tell us your dark secrets. And that came out of fucking nowhere. But when it comes to the past, it's normal. Boring. Like it's I don't know what you expect me. What was my past like? Boring, normal. I guess I was a good student in school. I could have been better. Like I was still one of the best, but I could have topped. Yeah, like even higher. I could have ranked even higher if I didn't. If I hadn't developed this attention deficit that made me just not do my homework. So basically, how I went through school is I'm I'm acing this test, so now I can lean back. I can allow myself to not do the homework because I fucking hated homework since grade 10, which is 10 years ago when I started developing this attention problem that I have. So I just didn't do my homework. Wherever possible, I didn't do my homework. And teachers were frustrated. And I'm also not the type of person who will raise their hand and orally participate. But when they do pick me, I did know the answers and I did contribute, and they were like frustrated, like, why? If I'm asking a question, why are you not raising a hand? Or you're not even lost in the material. Like you're not even confused or just daydreaming. You're here and you're present. Why don't you show it? Which I'm sorry, my teachers, but I just couldn't be fucked. And I'm sorry I didn't do the homeworks. I'm sorry. I really it's not the teacher's fault. It's my fault. But yeah, wherever I could weasel my way out, I would do it. I would never do anything extra. No extra work, no extra participation. I would just ace all exams, and then whatever I get in the year report, that's what I get. And I did get A's and B's. The worst that I did get was in math and chemistry, C's. Other than that, I was one of the best students still. I guess that's it. Uh, Wait, what? The context was on Discord when I was promoting the Q&A thread. Oh, okay, okay. Dark secret. I have one or two things that I regret in life. I don't know if they're dark secrets, but twice in my life. Once, I think when I was 7 or 8, and once when I was like 13 or 14, I said some really mean stuff about a person that was present, and the person could hear and understand, and that mean stuff was along the lines of, oh, they're so ugly. Why did I do that? And they heard, and of course hurt them, and I will never forget that. I hate myself to this day for it. I wish I'd never done that. And I know, that's just dumb kid stuff. You know, all kids do dumb stuff, but I really regret this. Why did I have to be such an ugly person? And still to this day, the person that I was yesterday, I despise most of the time, or I wish I could erase, or I think I would never be friends with. I think that's what you call progress and evolution and growing as a person. When you can look back 1 year later and not recognize yourself, or not identify with that person anymore, then that means that was not a year that has not been wasted. But I wish that I was a good person that I would be friends with from the beginning, you know what I mean? So there's these types of things that I regret. But otherwise, boring life. Like, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do anything. I did drink for 2 or 3 years from age 20 to age 22. Like, I was not an alcoholic, but that's the time period where I did drink alcohol. And I can't say it enriched me in any way. I don't drink, I don't do any drugs, I don't do anything, so it's kind of boring. Character development, yeah. And that's it. I don't have anything dark. Okay. Well, I don't know if it's dark, but do you know how older siblings always tease and prank their younger siblings and get away with it, and they make the younger siblings' lives harder? I'm that older sibling, but to my cousins, to my younger cousins. Oh God, how did I tease them and prank them and oof. But it was fun, you know? Except for one cousin, perhaps not, because she was always afraid of little animals, especially insects, and I would just collect dead insects and place them next to her and tap on her and make her look at it, or I would throw them at her. Or when I saw, I don't know, dead frogs, I'd also throw them at her and she would just cry. So I guess that's a dark past that I could highlight. Uh, yeah. How is it boring that I don't drink? Well, I'm saying, like, there's no fun drunk stories that I can tell you about. There's really no escapades or trips that I can talk to you about. No, I really don't consume anything. I don't even consume sugar or caffeine because I know that they can make you addicted to them or at least psychologically reliant on them. I avoid every substance that can make you addicted to it. So I cut that out of my diet. I try to maintain a super healthy diet and lifestyle. So I can't really tell you, like others would say I'm boring if I go out with friends and don't drink, but I don't mind. Like, I don't think it's a loss for me that I don't drink. So wait, this is too early for stream. Then go back to bed. Catch some Z's. On my end, it's 1:30 p.m. And that's how you create a villain. Eco black frogs with what? That's good. I don't know what you. Okay. Next question. Al Jami. Al Jami. I have no idea how you pronounce your username. Would you react to some movies in the future? Same answer as with the anime question. No. No. Hyper Charms. Hyper Charms is asking, what's your favorite manhwa or manga and what's your least favorite? Because I've talked about the favorite manga and manhwa already, I'm gonna talk about the least favorites now. Noblesse, the manhwa. Because it started off so good and so strongly. It was really good for like 90 to 100 chapters. But then it plummeted down. It was so bad. It went to shit so fast and for so long. Why is it still ongoing? Is it still ongoing? But why was it still ongoing for like years after the peak that it hit? Like it was so unapologetically bad. I had to drop it. It was like a typical shonen and it lost all its personality and all charm that it had in the beginning. Uh, so I dropped it. It was so bad. And same with The Breaker. The Breaker was good, but then came New Waves. The Breaker New Waves. And it it, it was a mistake. So that's a shame. The Breaker was okay, but The Breaker New Waves, oh, had to drop that shit too. So stupid. It's really weird how all these manhwa start off really strong and have their own personality and charm, but then they drift into generic mediocre bullshit that you've seen regurgitated time and time again. It's such a shame that happens so often. Uh, and as for manga, Jagaaan, I've talked about it. And I don't like the Evangelion manga. I don't like it at all. I do not accept it as canon. Ajin was a mixed bag because on one hand, it was full of suspense and it kept you wanting to read more, but on the other hand, there was so much confusing shit. So much weird stuff where you're like, does that make any sense? To keep reading it. Like, it was such a unique experience reading Ajin. Unique experience. It's, on one hand, you're like, what the fuck am I reading? And on the other hand, you're like, I don't know what I'm reading, but I want to read more. And I was not the only one. I recommended Ajin to the friend that got me into anime and manga. We're still best friends. And she was like, well, I don't know what I'm reading, but I want to read more. And I'm like, yeah, right, same. I said that too, so I'm not the only one. So I guess the execution, I think the ideas and so on, they were really cool. The execution is weird in some parts, and I heard that it's on a hiatus and it's been for a long time, so that's a shame too. Uh, yeah. Another question by Epi. If you have time, wait, not Epi, Piper Charms, sorry. If you have time, what about TV shows? For me, the last season of Game of Thrones still makes me feel angry. In my opinion, Game of Thrones went downhill from season 4 onward. And it just got steeper and steeper down the shitter. So season 8 was nothing out of the ordinary for me. Like it followed the progress, the downward progress that we've seen. Like that decline, yeah, of course it would continue that decline. It was nothing out of the ordinary, but if you want good TV shows that I can recommend, I would say Peaky Blinders. Fucking love it. Barry, which is about an assassin who I guess is becoming an actor. It's funny and full of suspense. I love Barry. Wait, oh wait, Elda, what are your book recommendations? No new questions. First, I'm gonna go through the already asked questions. New questions later on. I'm not gonna get distracted. Peaky Blinders, Barry, The Sopranos, because I said I'm a sucker for mafia stories, and The Sopranos, really good mafia story. The Boys, if you like Hollywood and action and superheroes, but you want that genre subverted, The Boys. Invincible is in the same alley, so watch Invincible. It has kind of a twist at the end that I don't want to spoil, that reminds you a little bit of The Eclipse, where a character gets betrayed by the person that they look up to the most and trusted the most. So Invincible is good, and The Boys, they're both superheroes with evil mixed in them, you know. Can you play the manga beginning after the end? Questions later on, new questions later on, but this question is asked by someone and I'm gonna answer it here. The Boys, Breaking Bad, of course, classic. Better Call Saul, I think I like even more than Breaking Bad. Taboo, I heard there's a season 2 coming, but I think season 1 just by itself is already fantastic. Taboo. And Extracurricula, which is a Korean series, and it's about teenage prostitution. And it's good, and I think it's on Netflix. Yes, so these are my recommendations. Now Ian asked, hi, will you be reading the beginning after the end on stream? The answer is, yeah, I hope so. I have it bookmarked already on Tapas, and I have heard good things about it, so hopefully I will. I don't know when, but it's bookmarked. Luke, my friend, Luke Vicht, he asked, you want to do cosplay streams or cosplay in general at some point? Okay, so I did something similar to cosplay already during my OnlyFans R18 comic streams era. But as for real cosplay, no. It's again an investment in a hobby, and it's a super expensive hobby that I just don't have the money for. Also, I don't look like anyone. I don't know. Cosplay, I've never really. I love cool cosplays when other people do them. I love that. I enjoy seeing cosplays when other people post pictures and so on. I myself, no, I don't have the time to make my own cosplay. I don't have the passion for that, and I don't have the money to buy cosplays or cosplay material. I don't have that. I'm sorry. So probably not. But I will say that costumes that people bought me, I do wear and I do plan on wearing. Epi bought me a Hatsune Miku cosplay, and I am using it, first of all, to respect Epi and his. Like, he spent money on this, and he knows that I like Vocaloid and bought this for me, which is really. My heart. So, to respect the person, of course, I'll wear it either on stream or in another type of content that I will be posting. But yes, the costumes that other people buy me, of course, to respect that person, I will wear it. I will use it. I will post pictures. I will make videos or live streams with them. I will do it so that the effort and the money doesn't go to waste. So yeah, I guess if you want to buy me a cosplay, if you want to really see me in cosplay, then I guess the only option is buy it for me. Otherwise, you're not gonna see me in cosplay. Next question. Uh, Also by Luke, is favorite running anime at the moment. As I said, I'm not a seasonal anime type of person, but the exception is Attack on Titan, so I will pick Attack on Titan. Yeah. Sophisticated twat. Mar, finally your question. Do you have any underrated anime manga that are, in your opinion, hidden gems? Probably yeah, but they're all shoujo or BL. The ones that I am gonna mention are, I don't know if they're underrated or hidden gems, but I think the ones that I'm gonna mention, I think too few people read them, okay, or watch them, which is why I'm gonna mention them. As for manhwa, we're gonna start with manhwa. I'm gonna pick Hisu of Class 2. It's a BL. For Your Love, another BL. Someone else's BL manhwa, BL genre. Hate Mate, also BL genre, but Hate Mate is so good. I should have put that one on the list of my favorite manhwa instead of Love or Hate or What Does the Fox Say. I should have definitely put Hate Mate on that list. Hate Mate is so good. The art, so good. The story, the characters, so good. Everything is so good. Hate Mate. And if you don't read it just because it's BL, you're missing out on so much, which is why I'm putting that on the underrated list. Don't forget to drink water. Yes, don't worry, but I need to pee, and I've been holding back for half an hour at least. I don't want to risk anything, okay? I don't mind hearing about shoujo or BL recommendations. I'm sure you don't because you're a girl and girls are more open-minded, but boys are usually the problem. Okay, now that I have sexism for today off my list, I can move on. Fools, another BL, but really good. It depicts falling in love and not knowing what to do with it in such a realistic manner. Also, the art style is so good. Painter of the Night. Painter of the Night is like a Korean period drama, and it's so good. I've had some male viewers, at least one male viewer, read it and say they couldn't stop. So I'm recommending it because you're missing out on a good thriller. Like, of course, it has a lot of homoeroticism in it, but it's so full of suspense, and you feel so bad for the main character. You hate the antagonist. It's so good. Okay, so that was Painter of the Night, and the third ending because it's cute and I like the art style, and I wish to see more of it. I heard that the second season, when it comes back, I don't know when it's gonna come back, is gonna involve explicit scenes too. But the first season has none of that, and I am absolutely fine with that. Like, I don't need explicit scenes. I just need good story, good characters, good interactions, and I have that in all of these that I mentioned right now. I skipped work because of the stream. What the fuck? Grim Reaper, what the fuck? Don't do that. That is insane. Don't do that. But I mean, I guess I feel honored, but don't do that. That's not good. Then for a manga that I wish more people read, Polar Bear in Love. It's so good. Uramichi Oniisan, Seto Utsumi, Kieta Hatsuko. I already mentioned all of them. And more shoujo, Koi no Hajimari. It's a recent discovery, and it's so good for, especially for a shoujo. It manages to evade typical character and plot tropes and cliches. I'm happy with that. So, Koi no Hajimari. Ima Koi o Shite Imasu is another one that I recommend because I like the main characters. Watashi no Cosmic Monster, I wish had more volumes and didn't just fucking stop abruptly, but it's still such a good read. So funny. I love it. And Homunculus. Homunculus is a good manga. It's about Trap Nation. If you don't know, Trap Nation is about drilling holes into your skull and thinking that the extra oxygen is gonna give your brain some spiritual ascension where you can see stuff that is otherwise hidden from the naked eye and whatever. Like, you gain some psychic abilities. That is Trap Nation. It's about a man going through a Trap Nation procedure and then seeing things, basically dark hidden secrets within people, and then helping them resolve them. But at the same time, these problems that these people have are problems within him. So is it projection, or is it connection between the main character and these characters that he's helping out with? It's a good but really dark manga. Like, it's depressing, and I don't think there's a single lighthearted or fun or cute moment. It's all just dark, I would say. For Paint of the Night, I know people ship the main two real bad. I do not ship. How can you ship? Okay, anyway. And I also know that the relationship is really. Yeah, shipping them would be supporting a toxic relationship. I do not. I don't think Painter of the even the. I read an interview with the author, who said, "Do you ship them?" And she said, "No. People who ship them should be in prison, or where relationships like this shouldn't exist. One of them needs to be in prison, or something like that." She said something about people going to prison for supporting such a type of relationship. So even the author, and it's so apparent when you read the comic, it's so apparent that you're not supposed to ship the main characters. It's not a romance story. It's not cute. It's not a desirable thing. You don't ship that. You just read the story and you're wondering, where is this going, and you're feeling bad for the main character. Like, of course, I hated the antagonist from the beginning. I hated him so much, but I'm a sucker for antagonists, so I started loving him for being such a fucking asshole. He's such a good person to hate, which is what I love about him, if that makes any sense. And there are other despicable characters in the series. It's basically just the main character that you want to root for and you want to see where they're going and you hope that they survive and that they reach happiness maybe someday, but I don't know if it should be with the antagonist. Like the other main character that is a really bad person. I don't know, I don't ship them in that sense. So that made me not want to read it. I thought it was romanticized. It was not. Believe me, it's the author doesn't romanticize it. In my opinion, the author doesn't depict their relationship as something cute, desirable, fun, or romantic. It's really not romanticized, in my opinion. In my opinion, that was also apparent. Like, there is no point in the story where you're thinking like, oh, the author really wants me to wish they would get together. At no point did I get that feeling. Is the lighting better now? It's not. It's just so contrasted. Everything is dark and just my face is white. I hate the lighting. Why is it so bad? Anyway, so this is why Painter of the Night. Anyway, going back to Homunculus, as I said, it's dark. Akira, I think not enough people read it. Liar Game. Now, you know Squid Game and how it was hyped so much? I did not understand the hype behind Squid Game, but then I remembered, wait, I come off of Battle Royale and Liar Game. So I've already seen the best of the best in that genre. These survival, capitalism criticizing game shows where it's survival or death or huge ass debt and being smart about the games. I came off of Battle Royale and Liar Game. So Squid Game to me was a downgrade, to be honest. Which is why I say, read Liar Game. Read Liar Game instead of watching Squid Game, or if you like Squid Game, read Liar Game. I think the author also said he enjoyed Battle Royale and Liar Game and wanted to create something like that, and that was 10 years ago, and it only happened now. But yeah, so this survival game genre, I think Liar Game is what you can get most from. Will you feed any Demon King I think you meant, will you read any Demon King manga? I don't know how many Demon King manga there are out there. But if they're not on my list, then probably not. Squid Game was just okay for me. Wasn't that good, especially because it was so hyped up. I don't know. I'm just saying, read Liar Game if nothing else. Boys Run the Riot for the trans issue thing. I think it gives you a good insight into that. And Shoujo, no, was it Shoujo Tsubaki? Yeah, Shoujo Tsubaki. I was like, is it Tsubaki Shoujo or Shoujo Tsubaki? Shoujo Tsubaki. By Maruo Suehiro. Okay, he's so good. He's so good. And in the same vein, I would say the Hikari Michi Club is something that I wish more people. So Shoujo Tsubaki and the Hikari Michi Club have this specific Showa era mood about them, and the way that they are drawn and presented, and how characters act, and the poses and the art style. Everything about it is so Showa. I recommend it, and yeah, they're pretty dark, but I think you gain a lot more than you know, that you miss out on. So I would say read it. Shoujo, Tsubaki, and Hikari Lichi Club, I think, are really good. And the special thing, okay, Shoujo Tsubaki was written in the Showa period, as far as I remember. So it reflects the Showa period background quite well in the manga. But Hikari Lichi Club was written in the 2000s. So outside of the Showa era, already past the Showa era, but it still captures the Showa essence. It reads like it was written in the Showa era. So good, so well done. I recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. And the last recommendation in the manga section, I guess I got to go walk. Sorry, that's okay. Goodbye, Grim Reaper. Color Recipe by Harada. Now I talked about Nichan by Harada, but Color Recipe. I have the. Should I get them? Okay, I'm gonna get them. I'll be back in a few seconds. I'm gonna get the manga and show them to you. Be back in a second. All right. So here we have Nichan. This is what Nichan looks like by Haradan. I just love Haradan. I don't know what she's up to these days, but the last good thing, like, we're gonna pretend Color Recipe doesn't have a volume 2, okay? Like, Harada peaked, I think, with Color Recipe, and then I don't know. I'm not following the other works. I don't type with the other works, but until Color Recipe, I enjoyed every Harada manga. And short stories. She's especially strong with short stories. Now her Gintama fanfics, doujins we call them, yeah. Sometimes they're questionable, but I like the art. Anyway, Harada, I think these are her best works. Color Recipe and Nichan. I think this everyone can read and should read to get a grasp of the social commentary on, pedophilia and so on in Japan. And Color Recipe is basically take Guts and Griffith's characters from Berserk and put them in modern characters and make them hairdressers, and then you get the story. This dude is Griffith, and he's fucking insane. I feel so bad for the main character, for the protagonist. I feel so bad for him because this dude, the white-haired one, oh my god, he's so bad. It's a good manga. Read it. Read it for real. Like, it's a shame if you dismiss such good stories just because they're BL or GL or whatever, because they really have a lot to offer. Anime that I wish more people watched, I guess. I'm gonna mention here Usagi Drop because I did read the manga, and I know that the manga left off where the manga should have left off. So ignore the existence of the manga and just watch Usagi Drop. That is cute. That is cuteness. It's sweet, and it's good that the anime stopped where the anime stopped, because what comes after in the manga is unholy, unsavory. You should not read that. Ore Monogatari. It's a fun and funny shoujo. It's so good. I love it. It's one of the best out there. And the artist for Ore Monogatari is also the artist for Kieta Hatsuko. And I think it's a girl, I'm not sure. But this woman, this artist, is so good, especially with expressions. So funny. Oh my god, I love her. Then, Katanagatari is another one that I wish more people watched. I forgot, but I think Katanagatari is by the same creator as Ore Monogatari. Ore Monogatari. Bakemonogatari. Think. I'm not sure, but I think. Anyway, Katanagatari is so good. And each episode is like 50 minutes. I think it has 10 episodes. And each episode is like 50 minutes or an hour. And it's so good. And the ending is so good. It's, oh, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. It's so good. And I wish more people watched it. It's underappreciated, in my opinion. Sakamoto desu ka? Now that actually also falls under shoujo, but I think it's a comedy slice of life. It's so good. It's really good. Usagi Drop, the anime is great, and I choose to forget the manga ever existed. Ore Monogatari was incredible cute too, right? It's better to burn out than to fade away. My hey hey. Well, what an entrance. Hello, welcome. Sakamoto desu ka? Super funny. Except, I think in the manga, his origins and where he went, the main character, Sakamoto, is left as a mystery, or it's implied. Like, I think in the manga, it's implied that he had a sickness and that he died in the end. It's an implication, and in the anime, it's like he becomes an astronaut and shoots to the stars to find his home planet or whatever. So I don't like that aspect of the anime. I prefer the implications in the manga. But yeah, Sakamoto desu ka? What manga are you talking about? I am talking about a manga that I think are hidden gems or underappreciated. Daily Lives of High School Boys is another anime that I enjoyed, and I wish more people watched. I want to rewatch it actually. Daily Lives of High School Boys, go watch it. Psychopaths, the first season. I ignore all other seasons, but the first season is a good sci-fi. Shiki, I wish more people watched Shiki. I know the style is eye cancer inducing, perhaps. It's too out there for some people. To me, I could get used to after like one or two episodes. I got used to the style. But it's such a good story. And the only horror anime that I think is done right. It's really good. I recommend Shiki. Um, Zankyo no Terra. It only has 13 episodes or so it's short, but it's really good. Oran High School Host Club. I know it's a classic. I know everyone from my generation and older has probably seen it, especially if they're a girl, but I think too little people nowadays have seen it. And as I said, 91 Days. It's one of my favorites, and I don't see anyone talking about it. I don't see anyone praising 91 Days. It's such a good anime. But I think it was done by Studio Pierrot, the one that handled Tokyo Ghoul. You can see the animation style and so on is. I mean, it's nothing special, but I think the anime is more carried by the story than anything. It's such a good anime. Psychopaths is a disappointing execution of a great idea. I think the first season is okay, I think in the first season, the first 8 episodes, I think that could have been put into like 4 episodes or woven into the main story a little more elegantly. But I think, what was his name? Shogo? Something with M. The main antagonist in Psychopath season 1. As I said, I'm ignoring all other seasons. They do not exist for me. Talking about season 1 only. And when I talked about Code Geass, I also only meant season 1 and season 2, R1 and R2. Okay? And we're ignoring that extra scene that was added at some point after season 2. We're ignoring that one too. We're just talking about Code Geass season 1 and season 2, where it's just about the Luge of the Rebellion, okay? And the end is where it ends. We ignore the extra scene that was put at the end. I don't know why it exists. So, yes, so these are my recommendations. And a follow-up question, also by Sophisticated Twat, is also, if you're feeling up to it, are there any popular series that you aren't very fond of? Quite a lot. One Piece. I've tried. I I was almost 200 episodes in when I dropped it, when I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, when is it gonna get good? I was told it's good from this or episode 127 or 272 bit. I could have watched 10 anime and gotten quality at this point. Why am I watching one anime and waiting for it to get good? I know for a lot of One Piece fans, it's good from the very beginning, especially the manga. They praise the manga, and I can also see having such an emotional attachment when you've been there from the very beginning of the serialization. But I don't vibe with One Piece, and I don't think I ever could. I think I know that's like a super unique aspect of One Piece and what makes it charming, but the characters are fucking crazy looking and behaving. Like their quirks, I don't, as I said, I don't vibe with One Piece, so no. And Death Parade, another anime that was super praised and is still in some people's top favorite lists. I don't get it. I don't remember a single fucking thing about Death Parade. And I watched it all. That's how little of an impression it left on me. It. I think it's a waste of your time. Don't waste your time on Death Parade. It's just, one person's story and then the next person's story, and there's a bartender and she's like helping you get, I don't know, through purgatory or whatever. It's boring. I didn't vibe with that one either. I see where the Grim Reaper was awake at walk. At walk? At work? I don't One Piece is like those Indian series that go on forever because they manage to keep selling them to the viewers. I Yeah, but also One Piece, like it wouldn't be in the top spot in Japan if it wasn't enjoyed actually by readers and viewers. Like some other series could have come along and knocked it off its top spot, but it hasn't. And I recognize that Oda, Eiichiro, I think is his name, he's really talented and really meticulous, and he has everything planned out. He's a genius that only comes along like once every generation. I recognize his talent, I respect him, but I just don't vibe with One Piece. It's not his fault. I just don't do it. Kimi ni Todoke is a shoujo that everyone read or watched or recommended, even boys, and I don't get it. Kimi ni Todoke is the most boring shoujo, riddled with cliches, nothing happening, over dramatization, social ineptitude. It has nothing good in it, in my opinion. Not even the art style. Elfen Lied. What the fuck was so good about that? Like, I understand the opening is okay. I like the opening too. But what the fuck is that rest? I don't think the rest of Elfenlied is anything to appreciate. Another thing that I think has some spin-offs or more seasons or other types of adaptations. Why is the lighting so bad? Look, I look so much better when there's less insane lighting. Um, fuck, why is it so crazy? Um, K Project. I did not understand the hype of K Project at the time. I watched it when it came out and everyone was talking about K Project. I didn't like it at all. Well, I don't even remember what the fuck it is about. I didn't like the aesthetics, I didn't like the story, I didn't like the characters, I didn't like anything about K Project, but it was so hyped. As I said, I don't even know what the fuck it is about anymore. Crazy Fam. I think One Piece is pretty good. I watched like 600 episodes. Yeah, it's not for everyone, but I understand if people like it. I just am not one of them. But I still think it's overrated as fuck, no offense. Okay, now the Grim Reaper's fired. Oh no. Oh no, so this is okay, this is like an insider's thing. I think One Piece is top because it is the childhood of many millennials. Maybe once the generation moves on from it, the newer generation would not get into it and it will die out. The story should have ended a long time ago. I don't know, because one of my cousins, he's 16 now, he watched Naruto twice or three times, I don't know, and he said he's thinking about getting into One Piece. So I don't know with the generational part. Let me see if the lighting is better if I turn off the kitchen lights and turn on this light instead. Hold on. Yeah, I know it's dark right now, but let me just switch on the light. Nah, it's worse. This is scary as fuck. How can I make it better? Hold on. Hold on. What the fuck? Now it's better. Now it's better. Oh no, now it's getting worse. I need to get closer. I need to get closer. Now, still not good, but okay. Then Deadman Wonderland, just me or everyone as an Indian myself, I view it like that as well sometimes. We have a series here which is running every single day since 2008. Damn. Um oh, she's back. Yeah, yeah. Another series that I don't get the hype of is Deadman Wonderland. I watched it, I think, when my cousin was with me. Um, he was 18 or 19 or 20. And I'm 4 years younger, so I think I was 16. Yeah, I think I was 16 when he said it, and I watched it. And I think the opening is good. I have the opening on my phone. Like, I have a lot of anime openings on my phone. They're a specific playlist. Oh no, the internet connection is fluctuating. What's going on? Stream die? Fuck. I hate this. Why does it always happen? Please. Be stable. Come on. I guess I'm just gonna continue talking and keeping track of the connection thing. The stream is a bit laggy for some reason. Yeah. The connection keeps dying. keeps dying. It reaches 0 kilobits per second. Fuck. For several seconds. Shit. Not good. That's not good at all. Fuck. It died. Stream died. No, it's back again. Okay. Oh no, it's dead. Nope. It's dead. Oh no. Fucking hell. I'ma just keep talking. So I don't know if the stream died on Twitch. Let me see if it's still going on YouTube. It's super laggy. It's super laggy, but it's holding on to dear life. Is my speech comprehensible? Chainsaw Man is by far my favorite manga. The funny thing is it became my favorite after my first read. I was just confused. Oh, okay. Well, you had that type of reading experience too. Nothing bad about that. Ah, damn. It started happening after you tried the light. Oh, wow. Is there some wave interference with the lighting thing? Oh my god. You've outstayed your welcome. Yeah, apparently. But I don't know, if you can still understand what I'm talking about, then maybe the picture, like the video lagging, isn't that bad. But now the connection is super strong. It says like 3,000 to 4,000 kilobits per second, and it's still like in the red and yellow area on OBS. Oh, now it's green when it dropped down to 1,000 kilobits per second. Okay, I think it's good again. I hate that the lighting is so bad. Look at me. Why are you so strong light? Okay, Deadman Wonderland, I said that. I didn't understand the hype. The opening was good, but everything else was bad. It was good in the beginning, but then it was bad. What is happening to your stream? No, fucking knew it. But I think, is it still running on Twitch? Okay. Maybe if it's still running on Twitch, then I should be, oh god, it dropped to 0 again. I can hear fine on my end. Then I'm just gonna keep talking. Dora. I think it's a comedy. Fucking hated it. I hated it so much. It's celebrated as one of the best romance anime, and I fucking hated it. Toga Inu no Chi. I don't know if it was hyped or popular, but I got into it because I heard it's mature and seinen and dark. And I was 16. I was just getting into anime and manga, and I watched it, and it was just bad. And I also think it was just a Fujo trap. But it was bad. It was so bad. I don't like Togai no Chi. Yuri on Ice. Everyone has heard of Yuri on Ice. It was celebrated. Oh, the first queer anime that was popular. Oh my god, it was the first realistic homosexual depiction on TV in Japan. No, it was still just Fujo fodder. It was still just trying to trap in Fujos, and I don't think the story was good, the characters were good, that the relationship development was realistic. I don't think anything about it was good. I did not like Yuri on Ice. It was not a good story. not a good BL story and not a good story. The development, it wasn't palpable. There was no chemistry. It was really just to attract Fujos, and that's it, in my opinion. It didn't do anything better than the seasonal sports anime made by women, where you can see that they're made by women who are into men getting it on with other men. You can see it. The most recent one was, I think, Skate the Infinity. That was obvious Fujo bait. And I think pretending that Yuri on Ice was not that it was something much more profound and better, you're just lying to yourself. It's typical Fujo bait, nothing more and nothing less. All right, and while we're talking about BL, like, I know this wasn't popular in general with people, but among the BL loving crowd, which I could say I'm part of, Super Lovers. I think it's still being serialized. It's problematic as fuck that like a 20-year-old is fucking around with a 10-year-old. And yeah, then they meet and the 10-year-old is 16 and the other one is like 26 or 36 or whatever. Age gap and pedophilia, I don't vibe with that. I don't feel like celebrating that. There is nothing good about the story either. Like, okay, yeah, of course there's nothing good because it involves, minors and so on, but like there's nothing redeemable about that series. I do not understand why Super Lovers was regarded so highly among Fujos. Why? Fucking hate the lighting. I'm sorry about that. Did you watch Made in Abyss? Made in Abyss is on this list. Right after Super Lovers. I can prove it. Here. Super Lovers and Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss. I will never understand the hype. I forced myself to watch 9, 10, or 12 episodes. I don't remember. I think it was 9 episodes, and I didn't think it was good. I felt like I was wasting my time. Usually when I want to decide whether I want to watch an anime, I give it a chance. I give it 4 to 5 episodes to convince me to continue watching it. And because I've heard so many good things about Made in Abyss, I thought, okay, well, I'm past the 4th and 5th episode, but I heard it's good. I'm gonna continue watching it. And I watched it with my cousin, and we both weren't feeling it. Like, it didn't. And it also felt a little weird when it came to the children, you know what I mean? Like, there's some aspects about it where I'm thinking, could this person be a lolicon, this creator? Because I'm getting some vibes from it, but I'm not sure. So far, so good, I guess, but I'm getting weird vibes that I cannot really place. Other than that, the story was boring, everything else was boring. I think the world was interesting, but everything else was boring. I was not a fan of the voice acting either. The art style was fine, but as I said, nothing about it caught me. I do not like Made in Abyss. I don't understand why it's so celebrated. There's nothing in it that attracts me. Like, nothing is pulling me in. There's nothing interesting going on, in my opinion. Hell yeah, Made in Abyss is so good, the mystery and adventure aspect of it is just premium. I disagree. I disagree. Like, the mystery and adventure could have been done better. Like, I didn't get any adventure or mystery vibes. Like, usually you would be at the edge of your seat with something like that, which is why I said the idea and the setting are so cool. The execution is severely lacking. in my opinion. It didn't grab me in any way. So I can only see Made in Abyss as overhyped. I do not vibe with it. Same with My Hero Academia. I've watched either 1 or 2 seasons. I'm saying that because I genuinely don't know, because I remember nothing of it. I watched at least 1 season. I know that. And the only thing that I remember of My Hero Academia is a big bird. I don't remember what happens with that bird, what that bird looks like. I think it was super big and muscular. But that is it. I don't remember anything else. Nothing left an impression on me. My Hero Academia is so boring, so generic, so it gives me nothing. It gives me nothing fresh, nothing. There's no suspense, no charm in it. Nothing unique, nothing. I don't. As I said, it's overhyped for me, in my opinion. It's the same with Made in Abyss. I don't see it. I don't see the fascination with it at all. And I watched at least 1 season of it and remember absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it wasn't because I was high or drunk. As I said, I don't drink, I don't take drugs. When I watch something, I watch it with someone else so that I can take in more of the story. And I think at that time I was still watching anime by myself, so when my concentration was still far better than now, but also, yeah, but I was watching stuff by myself until age 20. I stopped 6 years ago. Uh, and yeah, nothing was retained. I do not remember anything of My Hero Academia anymore. And even while I was watching, I remember that much where I was like, this is it. What is so good about it? I remember watching it and thinking that. And being really pissed off after I finished watching it, thinking, what the fuck did I spend my time on? This was so stupid. I want people who said this is good to go to prison or something for stealing my time. Okay? That's how bad I think it was. Well, that's a bummer. Season 2 is coming, so I thought you'll be hyped. Well, it is what it is. No. Made in Abyss, no, not at all. And another thing which is hailed as a classic that everyone needs to watch, because it's so good and so unique. Furi Kuri, I tried watching it like 10 times. I tried watching it and couldn't get past episode 2. It's too much for me. And I don't see the attraction. I don't see the fun in it. I don't see the charm in it. I don't see anything good in it. It's just, it feels like a dream where things happen and you're just watching them happen and unfold in front of you, and you wake up and you're just confused. And you're like, oops, well, thank God that was just a dream. And half an hour later, thank God you don't remember anything anymore. That's furikuri for me. Tried watching it 10 times, didn't get past episode 2, had this feeling of just things unfolding in front of me and me not being able to follow and me not being able to appreciate what was shown to me. But thank God I forgot everything after like a year or so. I do not remember anything about furikuri. Not a single thing, except that a boy, I think, had something like a horn here, and that's it. I don't remember anything anymore. And that's how good furikuri is for me. I've watched all of My Hero Academia with a friend because it's their favorite series. I don't typically like action shonen and I don't care about heroes. It was alright because my friend was having fun. If I was watching alone, I'd stop after season 1. I like nothing about it when I watch on my own. So we are the same. My Hero Academia has so much pedo stuff in it. Does it? I never heard that. And I never got the vibe of that while I was watching. Like, as I said, I was watching and I remember what I thought while watching it. I don't remember the contents of what I was watching, but I remember my thoughts of that I had at the time as I was watching. And I don't remember ever getting that type of vibe, like pedo vibes. I got something like that from Made in Abyss, but it's so vague and I'm not sure if it is pedo vibes or not. My cousin and I, we were like, is it or is it not? And my cousin brought it up first because I don't want to bring up stuff like that first. But my cousin was like, it feels kind of pedo, but I'm not sure. And I was like, same. I did not get that from My Hero Academia. Like, I don't have good words to lose about My Hero Academia because I don't care about it, because I don't like it. But saying it has pedo stuff in it, maybe I'm just not too far into that. Like, maybe I'm not far enough into My Hero Academia to say that definitively, no, it's not pedo stuff. But as for season 1 and 2, I can say no. I didn't get any pedo vibes from it. Uh, it's from the fan base. Well, the fan base is something else. Okay, you can't say My Hero Academia has pedo stuff in it. The fandom has pedo stuff in it. But that's not the creator's fault. I don't think the show itself is weird. It's mostly fans in my experience. Yeah, okay, so we agree. I also didn't sense any pedo vibes from the show itself. Okay, what about Mushoku Tensei? If you say it's overrated, I'm done. Favorite novel and anime. I haven't read it. I haven't watched it. I have no idea what it is. Think I've heard about it, but I'm not sure. Mushoku Tensei. No, not consumed it in any form. Favorite novel and anime enhanced experience. Yeah, I have no idea what Mushoku Tensei is. Never watched it. I saw a lot of stuff about explicitly making hypersexual characters when it's young girls. The fans are the weirdest though. God, I want to watch Mushoku Tensei. So, Epi, are you saying that about the show itself? As I said, I didn't get any pedo vibes from My Hero Academia. I don't know what you're talking about, but if it's the fans, then that's another topic. That's another issue. The show itself, I think, is harmless when it comes to that. All right. Okay, we're almost done with the questions. This is a long ass stream. I'm sorry about that. Me Dog asks, move over, everybody. Time for the most important questions of all time. What's your vision and goal for the channel going forward? Well, I plan on continuing to use it for, the manga and comic reading. Maybe I'll continue to clip rants and post them as separate videos so you have more different types of content. Like, for example, in this stream, I could clip the Devilman Crybaby rant and put it in as a separate video. I'm thinking of doing that more. So you have general like reviews or thoughts on manga and anime, and the live streams reacting to manga or not anime, manga or webtoons. And for other types of content, for example, like in-depth analysis and reviews, like in a professional manner, that are not improvised on the spot, like here in live streams, but where it's scripted, I do plan on making, but on a separate channel where I'm anonymous, and I will not be promoting that channel on this channel. So if you find it, that's good. If not, then not. But my like other types of things that I want to create and post, I will do in a separate channel, which will be completely separate from your experience on this channel. I don't know if I'll drop some hints or not, like which channel it is. I'm not sure. I want to keep it separate. And maybe I'm gonna post some more shitposty stuff on this channel. So yeah, that's what I wish I could do that, and I'm working on doing that. What's your opinion on bottles as masturbatory tools? Also by MeDog. This is a reference to a specific historical event in the history of Yugoslavia. But to this question, bottles as masturbatory tools. In my opinion, they're bad because they can pose as weapons that will start a war and lead to genocide. Okay, so that's my thoughts on bottles as masturbatory tools. Also, MeDog asking, do you think Jagaaan should become an anime? He knows about the rant. He knows about the Jagaaan rant. And he knows that my answer is Jagaaan shouldn't even be a manga, let alone an anime. What's your opinion on Albanians? And so far I have none because I don't like what opinion should I have? I mean, I guess they're chill. I guess they're cool. I feel bad for them for the horrendous slander that they had to endure because of the Georgia Martinovic incident. But otherwise, like, you can ask me about any ethnic group and I'll be like, man, what do I think about my neighbors? Like, they just exist, I just exist, everyone's okay as long as they're not a criminal. But like, I don't think anything about. I mean, I know it's a joke question, but yeah. How much do we gotta pay for Cow Costume Cosplay? I already said it. 3 silver coins. Then, okay, let's look at the chat first. Never gotten any pedo feeling in Made in Abyss. The design of the character is childish, but the world, it's gory and weird, which is why that unsettling feeling made the show much better. But if you felt it's pedo, that's on you, my girl. I said explicitly that I didn't know if the vibes that I was getting were pedo vibes or not. My cousin said he's not sure if the way that these children are depicted is weird or not, or if it's consistent with the story. And I said I agree, that I'm not sure if I should place it as a lowly bait or whatever. I'm not sure. But I did hear that later on in the manga, it gets more apparent that it is, that the creator is probably some lowly connotated person. Like, basically everyone in the fandom, boring and uninteresting. Like, the idea is so good. You could have done so much with it, and then it wasn't done. Like, it's supposed to be eerie or whatever, in my opinion. And Epi, stop with the book recommendation question. We're not done with the questions here, okay? We still have a page to answer. Hamza is asking, do you own any manga? If yes, which ones? Hello, do you believe in the afterlife? I think that was a different Hamza who asked this question. As for that, I am an agnostic atheist, I guess you could say. I don't believe in anything. I'm sorry. Like, I love all these afterlife views and Genesis stories in different cultures. Like, I love that. I love religions and what they produce when it's not organized. I'm talking about the lore, okay? I'm just talking about the content and the lore. I find interesting, and I love that. I consume it like I consume manga and anime. But I myself don't believe in anything. The type of person I am. Never read the manga, so I don't know. Yeah. Okay, Hamza is asking, do you own any manga? If yes, which ones? So I do own a lot of BL that I bought in Japanese while I was in Japan. So all of these are in Japanese, as you can see, probably. Hold on. It's Japanese. So I bought a lot of my favorite BL while I was in Japan. And also the first volume of Gintama. Because, okay, and this is a pro gamer girl tip for all of you anime and manga fans who go to Japan because you're a weeb. You've heard about Akihabara in Tokyo, like that is the cute, like the best weeb corner in Tokyo. Listen, when you're a weeb, you go, okay, Akihabara is like beginner's level, like entrance level, like you've heard of Akihabara, you go there, but then it's confusing and there's far more other stuff than there is anime. Then, when you move up the ladder of weebness, you realize that Ikebukuro is the place. Like you have amazing food there, you have fashion there, you have entertainment there, you have electronics there, and you have anime and manga there. Ikebukuro. But the pro gamer girl tip: when you go to Tokyo, you get on the orange line, the Chuo line, headed for Nakano, and you get out at Nakano, and you go to Nakano Broadway, and in Nakano Broadway, there's a Mandarake. And Mandarake is like a second-hand store, and also along with the Mandarake that goes over several floors, and I mean second-hand store for manga, and you also have like fresh manga in there, of course, but like manga, and they only have like good stuff, like it all looks untouched, so you get it for half the price at least. I bought the first volume of Gintama for 100 yen. So it spans several floors, the Mandarake, secondhand stuff. You have figurines, you have gacha machines, you have manga, you have anime, you have art. And on one floor where there is also the Mandarake, you also have an art store. I forgot what it's called. But they have the niche stuff. They have all that, these artists, these Japanese artists. For example, they have a lot of Suehiro Maruo, they have a lot of Takato Yamamoto. I mean, I said them now in the foreigner version, like first name first, last name second. It would be Yamamoto Takato and Maruo Suehiro. You have those in that store, like all these Kago Shintaro. You have all these niche artists that are like erotica but gore maybe too, and weird vibes and creepy and so on. All these creative artists you have in that store, also in Nakano Broadway. And to continue with the pro gamer girl tip, Mandarake has an online store that also ships overseas. So you can find all the niche stuff and all the manga that if you ever wanted in Japanese, you find in Mandarake. So go there. That's the pro gamer girl tip. Yeah, you can go to Akihabara, but Nakano Broadway, Chuo line, not Chuo Sobu, that's the yellow line. You go on the orange line, headed for Nakano, and you get out at Nakano. And they have a good taiyaki, I think. Taiyaki. Stand or store before you enter this alley that is just filled with good food and stuff. You buy that and you take the custard one, and oh, so good, so good. Pro gamer girl tip. I'm smart. I didn't ask about religion. Media questions are so hard. It's crashing Elda's internet. Oh no! Was it bad again? After you're done, yes, I thought you were done. Yeah, okay, the book question after I'm done. There's free Hamza subscribe to you. So I didn't know. Now that answers the question, and I'm about to piss myself. So again, manga that I possess, a lot of BL, I also have Shoujo Tsubaki by Maruo. I have the ones that I bought myself or that I got as a present. Okay, the first that I got as a present was Box of Spirits from a cousin. Then from my mom, I got Vagabond, Great Teacher Onizuka, and Blade of the Immortal. And the ones that I bought myself, now these are all in German, are Dogs from the Dogs, Bullets and Carnage series. That's in English, but I bought it. That was the first seinen that I read. I was fascinated. I loved it, but Shiro Miwa Shiro, I think is the author. I forgot. I think he discontinued it or lost passion. It turned bad or just fucking stopped. Like there's no serialization going on anymore. So I wish I never bought that series and could sell it. Maybe I'm gonna sell it. So Dogs from the Dogs, Bullets and Carnage series, and that's in English, and more in German is Shiki, because I just love the anime. So Shiki, the manga. And Tokyo Ghoul. Audio is gone, no sound. That's impossible. Like, I can see that the mic is still working. Michael Meyer. Nice name. But I think maybe that's a problem on your end. Is the audio gone for everyone else? Can you still hear me? You have to write it in the chat. I can hear. Okay, so I knew it. That it's impossible. I can see the mic thing in OBS, and it's working. And Vagabond, by the way, I only have it for now because I'm selling it to Akaketsugami, my friend Gabe, when I see him. And another question by Hamza. Then what was the first anime you watched? Now, I've been told by my mom that I've watched anime since I was very small. I've watched Pokemon, I don't remember that. Sailor Moon, I don't remember that either. Inuyasha, don't remember it. The one I do remember from my childhood is Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, okay? And Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember that. I even collected the cards and played with them. Like, I was a huge-ass Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, and I'm probably getting into it again. Like the card game. The point behind buying the product is to support the artist. That's so... It's not a curse word. I just don't have the right word. I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, you do you. And the anime that I started watching, when I started watching anime consciously, knowing it was anime, is when my friend got me into it. She didn't really get me into it. Like, I saw a YouTube video one day, and it had like best Bleach characters, or I don't know what it had, but it had Abara Renji from Bleach in the thumbnail, and I was like, he's hot, damn. And I was like, shit. So maybe my love for pretty boys was either because of I grew up with anime, and now I'm rediscovering this love for pretty boys, or my love for pretty boys led me into anime. So, after I saw that Renji from Bleach thing, I didn't even watch the video. I just remembered it and asked my friend, "Hey, do you know Bleach?" And she was like, "Oh, I love Bleach. I love anime. Oh my god, is it time to finally share it with you?" We had been friends for 4 years until then, 4 or 5 years, and it was not until then that she ever mentioned anime to me. And then she recommends to me. She sent me that, and I did click on D Greyman first, but that was I think I watched one episode. I liked it, but then I was like, I need something else to get into anime, and I watched Gurren Lagann, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, and I loved it. but I watched it with the German dub. Loved it. Then I watched Bleach, and I think I also put on the English dub or the German one. I don't remember. And my friend caught me and said, "No, watch it in Japanese with English subtitles." I was like, "Okay, that's not like why would I watch it with subtitles? Like I don't understand Japanese." She's like, "Trust me, do it." Okay. I put on Bleach, Japanese audio and English subtitles, and I fell in love with the language. It helped that Ichigo Kurosaki had an amazing voice. I love his voice actor's voice. So good, but I fell in love with the language, and that's when I started getting into Japanese as a language, thanks to Bleach. Like I did watch, as I said, D Gray Man. I think that was also with the Japanese dub. I don't think I found an English dub at the time, but I wasn't really versed in the anime online thing. I wasn't taken in where I watched. Yeah, I think I watched it in English because when I heard the Japanese, it had a female voice, but the character was clearly a male. So I was weirded out and watched it in English. Tengen Topanguden Lagan I watched in German. Bleach I watched in Japanese, and I got into the Japanese language because of that. Nice story, huh? Mm, yeah. So I think I was 15. Yeah. 15, almost 16 perhaps at the time. Yeah. Then Kleba, and that's the last question for today. And then I have to take a pee break, and I'm gonna come back and ask and answer more questions, I guess, that you have now for me. Kleba asked, "Why didn't you read Monogatari series yet? Why? When will you? Not the manga though. The manga is bad. First of all, why do you assume I haven't watched it yet? I did watch it, but I don't remember until when, like until what point I watched the Monogatari series. I know I started with Bakemonogatari first season, and I think I watched like half a season, but then I had to go to Japan, and so I dropped it, and I haven't watched anything since. Like that's when I turned 20. So you see, that's when I stopped watching anime altogether by myself. Mm, but I did enjoy it. I think it's unique. I want to get back into it and watch it from beginning to end because it's unique. It's truly unique, the Bakemonogatari series. It's social commentary left and right and making fun of like it's like a parody but also not. If you get what I mean. It's unique. I recommend it. But when will you? I don't know. I don't know when I will get back into it and continue and finish it. I have no idea. That is it. I'm gonna piss myself if I don't run to the toilet now. I'm gonna turn off the mic too. I'll be back in a minute, okay? And then we're gonna answer more questions. Bye bye for now. Okay, I'm back. And I can only talk for maybe maximum of 1 hour. Um, Wait, we have your want to watch anime list. What about your never to watch list? I think I mentioned that too. But maybe you tuned in too late to hear that. But we got all the questions answered now. That was like 10 pages of questions. Yeah, all of this here. Answered. And now book recommendations. I can mention one series which Elda will never watch, but if I mention it, she will come to India and slap me. 2 minutes. Yeah, I peed a lot. I'm sorry. That pee break was. Sorry, but over these past 4 hours, I've accumulated a lot, and I've already drank like 2 liters today, so TMI, but yeah, I peed a lot. I was surprised myself. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Where is this water coming from? Oh. All right. Like, I'm amazed by my bladder that it can hold so much liquid. Anyway, which anime or which series that we'll never watch, but if I mention it, she will come to India and slap me? Mention it. I'm curious. Like, what series are you talking about that I will never watch? Is there a series that I said I would never watch? I don't remember ever saying that. I think the chat is really slow to appear on my end. It starts with R. I have no idea what it is. No idea. It starts with R. I have no idea. So many series start with R. Now I know. Yeah, I won't watch that shit. I know which one you mean. No. Do not mention it. Fuck you for even thinking of that. No. I think the chat has 30 seconds delay. Well, that's a shame. But yeah, I will not watch Redo of Healer. No. You asked for book recommendations. As I said, I stopped reading at 16, but I have been reading some books on and off during these past 10 years. I think, okay, I would say read Hermann Hesse. Damian, for example. Damian by Hermann Hesse. So good. Hermann Hesse in general. Take any Hermann Hesse book and it's so good. But I will recommend Damian and Siddhartha. Damian and Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. I also recommend The Metamorphosis by Kafka. Classic. I know. Classic. I also recommend Faust by Goethe because of the style, the writing style. Now, I don't know. I think I'm lucky that I'm born in a German-speaking country and live in a German-speaking country and know German, because Goethe wrote that in German, and it's a song, basically. It's full in rhymes. Faust 1 and Faust 2. They're in German and they're in rhymes. And they're so well done. And the language is so archaic, kind of. It's really fun reading it. And I do not think you have that same effect in other languages. I don't think you can retain the meaning and the content of what is said, because it's like a play. You read it like a play, Faust. You cannot retain the content without giving up on the rhymes or retain the rhymes without giving up on the content of what was said and have the same effect. Like it's really poetic. Of course, it's a poem. It's basically a poem. But I think learning German and then reading Faust by Goethe, that's how you enjoy Faust by Goethe. I like that. And fuck, what was his name? Sapiens, I forgot the author's name. Harari Yuval or something like that. Harari. He's I think an Israeli author. And Sapiens is basically the entire human history, but really concise and really well done in my opinion. And it's really good. Like it gives you so much insight into our past and our development, and shows you how a tiny thing in our evolution, for example, has led to, for example, banks today. Like the human pelvis getting more narrow and deep, having repercussions that we see now with banks, for example. Like all these things, they build a chain, and it's like a web of things that lead one into one another, and the results you can see today, and it all builds up over time, and you can see it's such a natural progress, and it's a hard thing to tell this type of thing in a story format, and so simple, where you can follow each link in the chain and see how it leads up to this or that we have today. So he's a really good storyteller, and he's a historian. Like he's a professor of history, I think, in Israel. Good book. So I recommend those. And let me see what else. I think I have a small list. Yuval Noah Harari. Yes, that was the name. Let me look at my list. Hold on. Opa. I think I went too far. There we go. Oh yeah, what I also enjoyed was Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I enjoyed that one too. But with all these German books, I recommend them because the language is so good. Hermann Hesse, Goethe, and Nietzsche. It's just that the literature from, I think, the 1800s until 1930, it was so good. It was so poetic, even though like the meaning was so it wasn't just that the content of what they wrote went to your head and you learned something. Like you think, oh, Nietzsche, yeah, that's some philosophical thing. Yeah, that's for your head maybe, but the words that were used and how they were placed, they go straight to your heart. And that's a kind of combination you don't see again nowadays. You don't have this beautiful language that touches the soul, and that you, yeah, that makes you think. uh it's it's a layer that gives more profoundness to the material that you're reading. So that's why I'm saying Zarathustra by Nietzsche. It's because it belongs to that type of literature. Really good. And for other type of uh, thing that touches your soul because of the beauty of the language is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali by with the commentary and edition by, I think it was Charles Johnston, the Book of the Spiritual Man. No other version of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and not the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali just by themselves. This version of Charles Johnston, I think, is so nice. It's so nice to I heard it as an audiobook. It was so nice. Like I listened to it every time I commuted from my town to university town and back. So nice. Really so nice to listen to. So these are my book recommendations. Maybe I have some other, like while I was still reading as a teenager, I really enjoyed The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, or oh, I forgot his name. The Name of the Wind. I like that one. I like that one a lot. And what else? I also enjoyed what was his name? He wrote Illuminati and Angels and Demons. Until you realize like all of his books are kind of the same. Like it's all kind of in the same lane. Like if you have read one of them, then you have read all of them. In my opinion, but he's a good storyteller. Like that, it draws you into the book. The way he tells the story, which is good. Unlike Stephen King, I know I've shed on him several times already, but I really don't like his writing style at all. Like when the special thing about books, Dan Brown, exactly. The special thing about books is that you cannot translate to other media is the words that you're using to construct an image in the reader's head and emotions in the reader's heart. So the language aspect is the only thing unique to the book that cannot be translated to another medium. So when you fail at that, why write a book? Why not just go straight to movie script, or I don't know, some other medium where you can tell the story, where you're not relying on the language. The language is that shines through in books. It's the main tool of books. And if you don't have that, if you don't have a grasp on that, then then maybe choose a different type of storytelling. Maybe books are not what you should be doing. Like I like the Stephen King movies. They're good. I like the Fog a lot. I like the Fog, but the books, I don't like Stephen King's books. Yeah. Stream is lagging, but the audio continues right when your net comes back. So continue. Oh, okay. Well, I think maybe we should even stop now. I think I answered all questions. These were my recommendations and my do's and don'ts and so on. Like do not read, do not watch Devilman Crybaby and so on. Yes, this is the 1K subscriber special. Thanks for all the questions. Now you got to know me better, I think. I don't know if you like me better now, but you know me better now. And hopefully, this is it. Hopefully I never have to say what I said today ever again during a Let's Read stream. So yeah, wonderful stream, Elda. Congratulations on 1K subs and many more to come. Thank you, Epi. We all know who is responsible for this achievement. It's you. Everyone say thank you for Epi to Epi, because without him, this channel wouldn't exist. And this channel wouldn't have attracted 1,000 viewers. He is the mind and the hands behind this channel. It's not me. I'm just the face and the mouth of this channel since ever and forever. Hamza, I never have an idea what you're talking about. Maybe write in the context so I know what the fuck you're talking about. Especially when the the chat is lagging on stream for like 30 seconds. I have no idea what you're talking about. So, yeah, I'm gonna end it here today. Again, thank you for subscribing, for coming here, for asking questions, for watching, and hopefully for enjoying my content. And I'd be happy if you look forward to more and joined more streams in the future. Fucking lighting. I wish that wasn't in the way of today's stream. We love you. Oh, I love you all too. Okay. Yeah, the stream is lagging really hard. All right then. This is it for today. Thanks again for coming, and bye bye.